The following program would like to remind you that every day is a blessing. A lot of people hear that and think, yeah, okay. But it's really true. You have air in your lungs and hopefully you have a full belly. But most importantly, all that's really needed for happiness is a healthy disposition. Some days finding that healthy disposition can be a struggle. Then there are days like today, a day when the Tartuffe of Congress gets booted like a field goal from Yippee-ki-yay Justin Tucker. Tonight should be fun, so kindly buckle your seatbelts and lock your like and subscribe buttons into the click position. The following program is about to begin.
Goodbye, na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, goodbye, na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Neerman, a.k.a. Good Lawgic. I made reference to singing, and I was like, I haven't heard this in a while. If you're wondering, I'm very curious if people actually know who the when I made this. Stop with the muted. This is a lie. This is a this is a lie. I'd be very curious if anyone here who can figure out who I was referring to as the Tartuffe of Congress. I did this more than a year ago. That I created that more than a year ago. That little singing. But I happen to think that even back then, when I was just a young man of 51, 52, I had the wisdom to realize the value of a healthy disposition. So there you go. That if any of you can figure out, I'm very curious if any of you can figure out exactly who it was that had been booted out that I was singing about and celebrating their removal from Congress. But yeah. Anyway, I'll let you all mull that one over. I'm gonna try to mute that out. Mute that sucker out. Whew. I didn't claim I was a chazan. I didn't claim I'm a singer. I've never claimed to be a singer. I'm not a singer. If I was a singer, I wouldn't be doing this for a living. I would be somewhere else. I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer, but sometimes I'll sing. You don't have to be a singer to sing. That's a big mistake that I think a lot of people make. If you have a healthy disposition, you can sing whenever the hell you freaking feel like it. And there you go. Not Kevin McCarthy. No, it was not. And not Jamal. It was not McCarthy. I thought about talking about this, about Julian Assange being free. Apparently, he's going to Australia, which I guess you can consider that free, and working some sort of deal with the United States. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but some sort of deal with the United States. But member for 4 months, American Dreamer. Well done. Well done indeed. American Dreamer. Yeah, okay. The other thing I want to just start and give you all like something that someone tagged me, and I was like, look, I know this is mocking a friend of mine. Sometimes you gotta say, that's funny. That's good work. It's good work. And when I see good work, I'm gonna acknowledge the good work that's done. The good work. Not bloody likely. Let me share with you all what this short little clip that I was tagged on saying Raketa explaining how cops can lie. And frankly, I thought this was pretty funny. I'm not going to kid you. Thought it was pretty funny. I don't know who did this. It was pretty good.
He told me he's not a cop. 5 seconds later, he pulls out a gun, and there's cops and helicopters and cameras and vans everywhere. The guy totally lied to my face. They're like, you're selling meth. Then he threw me in a dungeon. I'm sitting there sweating and crapping. He told me he's not a cop. 5 seconds later, he pulls out a gun, and there's cops and helicopters and cameras and vans everywhere. The guy totally lied to my face. They're like, you're selling meth. Then he threw me in a dungeon. I'm sitting there sweating and crapping. He told me he's not a cop.
That is so good. That is so good. I think that's funny. I agree with you. I agree with you what you're saying here. Even Nick would appreciate that. He would love that, I think. I think it's funny stuff. It was funny. So, yeah, if you tag me with something that actually makes me laugh, I can. I'm definitely going to share that with the crowd, share that with the world. I think that's from. I think that's the guy from Breaking Bad, right? What's his guy's name? Beaver or something like that. One of Jesse's friends who was selling meth. I don't know. Was it something like Beaver or something like that? Badger. Yes, it was Badger. That's right, Badger. That's correct, Andy. I think that's who the original was and how he put his Beaver. I guess that's got Beaver on the brain. It wasn't Bunny. Okay, so it was Badger. I was close. That was pretty good. This is, as if any of you could tell the difference between a beaver and a badger. Please. All right. We're going to jump right in on this debate primer. And we're going to start with this. Before we even get to the debate, apparently Trump has narrowed down his picks to tres. Did he lose his primary? Was that today, his primary? Now you have me curious. I know he was going against George Latimer. It's tomorrow. It's Tuesdays. That would be a really nice birthday gift. Tomorrow is my birthday. I will give you a heads up on that. So I believe it's tomorrow, his primary, and I will tell you that tomorrow I turn. Well, I guess technically, sometime during the course of this show, I'm going to turn 54. I do plan on streaming tomorrow. And you'd say to me, "What's going on, Joe? Why are you streaming? Why don't you have friends? Why isn't anyone taking you out for your birthday?" I don't understand. Well, the short answer of it is this. So, Lady Lawgic and my youngest have gone up to the mountains. My three oldest are married and, I don't know, dispersed. And I certainly would not expect, and they're each dealing with their own family stuff. One of them is in Israel, so he's certainly not coming in. My two daughters live miles away. I certainly wouldn't expect either of them to come in. One of them has three tiny little kids. And then I've got, my two sons are in yeshiva, like dorming away. So I'm basically here on my own. And what I realized is the reason I really don't need to go out and do anything for my birthday other than just hang out here and probably invite in tomorrow some guests to join me for a little extended birthday stream tomorrow. So that's going to be, I'll probably start a little early tomorrow and do a little bit of an extended birthday stream. So I don't know who I'll invite in. Probably, usual suspects as far as for people who I consider certainly online friends, if not more, and have them hang out with me for a little bit of an extended stream. And to me, that's more than enough, because what I realized is I don't need to go out with people because I'm turning 54. I'm not turning 10. So, and just hang out with people. And frankly, every day to me, I sort of spoil myself anyway. I'll drink. I will do that. I'll probably drink tonight. Especially if someone asks me to. I'll probably drink tonight. And I'll probably drink tomorrow also. But as far as what is happening, I'm hearing these alarms going off. But as far as anything beyond that, I do expect to be here tomorrow evening. Lady Lawgic actually asked me today. She's like, "So are you going to be streaming tomorrow? Are you working tomorrow? Are you planning on streaming tomorrow night?" I was like, "I don't know. What the heck?" Sorry, my laptop. I just bought not a laptop, a tablet, and it just makes these weird sounds sometimes, and I don't know why. I don't know why it does it, because I'm a boomer and I'm too lazy to figure out why it keeps doing that. So that is going to be tomorrow, and I guess technically at some point tonight. Woohoo, Grandpa Joe, lucky man. Amen. I happen to feel I feel like I'm the most blessed person on earth in so many different ways. I'm literally the most blessed person on earth. So, yeah, I'm totally cool hanging out with you fine folks. And that's awesome. Glick dein Geburtstag. Glick. Is it? Is it though? Is it really Yiddish happy birthday? Is it though? I don't speak Yiddish. That doesn't look like it. Dein Geburtstag. Glick. I'm sure you put in happy birthday and did like a Google Translate, but I don't think they did a great job. That's my guess. But who the heck knows? Okay, let's get in and do what we do best, which is break down law and politics. And we're going to start with addressing Trump's purported narrowing down of his big three. His three potential running mates that he's narrowed it down to, according to The Hill, what they were reporting just a couple hours ago. Former President Trump's decision of a vice president pick. Don't like that. Let's go away. Is getting closer with the GOP convention less than a month away, and three contenders have emerged as front runners for a job that could instantly create a favorite for the 2028 Republican presidential nominee. Could it really instantly create a favorite? Is that really going to be such a big difference that everyone's going to be like, huzzah? What's the name that would do that? Because I don't know which name would tilt it so dramatically. Trump allies and sources close to the former president's orbit said North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Senator J.D. Vance, which if you want to see a picture of him, that's not what I wanted it to do. That's a very poor link. Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio and Senator Marco Rubio from Florida are considered the likeliest picks at this point, though a handful of others have received vetting materials and Trump could make a surprise choice. See, that's not telling me anything. This is The Hill. You see, this is a headline that he's like, most likely three. This feels like fake news. You're fake news. Because what you're telling me is, all right, we're down. We still have the same six. I don't know how it all shakes out, but I'm fairly confident it ends up being one of those three, one Trump ally told The Hill. Trump told reporters in Philadelphia over the weekend he had settled on a pick to join him on the Republican ticket in November, but he had yet to tell anyone who it was. I will point out to you, Dr. Sebastian Gorka guaranteed like 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, that it was Lee Zeldin, who no one's even talking about him. He basically said, a very popular New Yorker. It's going to be a very popular New Yorker. That was terrible, Gorka. So, frankly, I was like, I don't know. This sounds like such a ridiculous guess that he's saying. And he was saying for certain. For certain. I was on a space with him. For certain. And I happen to like a lot of what he produces. I just think that sometimes he talks with such bravado that I'm like, I don't know what the hell you're even talking about half the time. He puts himself out there as if he's talking with actual information that is not actual information. And I'd be far more impressed with him if he would not pretend that he knows stuff he doesn't know. Because there's no way he could have known Lee Zeldin. Certainly no one's talking about Lee Zeldin today, that's for sure. The former president also said his choice for vice president would be at Thursday's debate with President Biden. Burgum, Rubio, and Vance, as well as several other GOP lawmakers, are all expected to attend the fundraiser with Trump in Atlanta following the debate. Quote, as President Trump has said himself, the top criteria in selecting a vice president is a strong leader who will make great president for 8 years after his next 4-year term concludes. Trump campaign senior advisor Brian Hughes said in a statement, but anyone telling you they know who or when President Trump will choose his VP is lying unless that person is named Donald J. Trump. I think that's an accurate assessment. I think anyone who's claiming that they know for sure is lying. I don't know that he's made a decision yet. I will say this: I am thrilled that no one is seriously considering Tim Scott or Nikki Haley, because those two basically are looking to bomb Russia to hell, and they scared the bejesus out of me. I think they're really, really dangerous folks, and they seem to be like the type who, intersectionality wise, traditionally would have been a popular pick. Let's take the black guy. Let's take the woman. And I'm pleased to see that he's not afraid to basically pick out 3 white dudes. And I'm not sure that they're the best candidates, but J.D. Vance is pretty good. He's pretty good. What's interesting about J.D. Vance is he has said some terrible, terrible, terrible things about Trump. Back in 2016, he hated Trump. I mean, he's doing a nice job of kissing his butt today, but he said some terrible things. He compared him to Adolf, I think, at one point. He said some terrible things, and he used to be much more left-leaning. And all of a sudden today, he's being recognized as, like, you know, one of the leading voices of MAGA. And I don't really, I think he's a very intelligent man, very intelligent, far more intelligent than most politicians, which can be a good thing. It can be disconcerting that the guy is just better at knowing what messaging to put out there. So I have trust issues with J.D. Vance. I do. I certainly don't like Marco Rubio because that guy's as establishment as infrastructure. I mean, he's as establishment as the I-95. So I don't like Rubio. I remember liking a bunch of things that Burgum said at the debates. Maybe we'll watch a little bit of his work at the debates if I can get some sort of clips together of Burgum, because most of you probably don't remember Burgum. Let's see if I can pull up some clips of Burgum at the debates, because they didn't give him much window of opportunity because his polling was so abysmal. And no one heard of this guy before the presidential debates because it's in North Dakota. What do you want? I mean, I think the most famous North Dakotan of all time is Paul Bunyan. So that's why no one heard of this guy. But let's see if we can get Paul Burgum. A lot of things he said. That's not what I want. One second. No, this is good. No, it's a little short, but.
Last night's debate was a pivotal moment for North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum to make an impression on a national audience. Joe Skrzyszewski has been reporting on the ground in Milwaukee this week and brings us
some of his clips
of the governor's night.
Thanks. I don't care about you. I don't care about you.
Wishing me well, and I think I took them debate. They were all wishing me well, and I think I took them a little too literally when they said go to Milwaukee and break a leg. So, we've got a plan right now, the $1.2 trillion of Green New Deal spending buried in the Inflation Creation Act is something that is just subsidizing China. If we're going to stop buying oil from the Middle East and start buying batteries from China, we're just trading OPEC for Sinopec. The feds are stepping into people's lives. They're stepping into people's business.
That's such a great comment where he's saying we're trading OPEC for Sinopec. That's such a great line that I don't remember him saying, and I covered his debates. I covered those debates, and I'll tell you that that's such a great, because Sino is a reference to China. There is no such thing as Sinopec. But he modified the name. He must have come up with that before, but still, it's a great way of basically saying we're changing our energy source from being the Middle East to being China. And it's a great comment. It's an insightful comment.
Over and over, if we say that the Fed should be in on this one, where do we stop? I say that we follow the Constitution, and this is returned to the states. This is where it should be.
And that's the right answer on that. Follow the Constitution, return it to the states. That's the right answer, and it's the perfect answer for anyone who's on the federal stage and looking to be elected. Especially if you're a Republican. If you're a Democrat, your objective is to basically pound and pound and pound on abortion. I've talked over and over and over again about how this is a losing issue, not because the pro-choice people are more numerous, but because they are more vociferous, they are more active, they are more engaged. That there are many more of them who are likely to make it the primary issue than there are people who will make pro-life the primary issue. And the reason I've said this, not to go into great length about it, is that if you're pro-choice, your motivation tends to be that this is self-interest. This is my self-interest, and people vote with self-interest. People and should vote with self-interest. You should be voting for people who you think are going to make your life better. So if you're pro-choice, a candidate who's supporting that perspective is a candidate that's healthy for you and good for you. If you are pro-life and now you're going to vote for someone because they're you're not going to go out there and vote for and say, I have to vote for this guy because he's pro-life. You're just not going to do that because he's not helping you. It's helping someone else. It's helping some foreign fetus because you're not going to be aborting your own kid. So you're basically, it's based on a morality line. All right. And yeah, for some people, they vote along morality lines. I'm sure there are some. It's just not nearly the same level of engagement. It can't be. So that's why the best answer is to stand behind the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs, which said this is not a federal issue. This is not something the federal government should be deciding. And you could even stand behind Dobbs a little bit further and say, even if someone wanted to try and pass a statute on a federal level regarding abortion, that would be unconstitutional under Dobbs. Based on Dobbs' interpretation, it seems like that would be unconstitutional, which is why the federal government should never be wasting their time about this. And any politician who's sitting here talking to you on a federal stage, talking about abortion, is basically gaslighting to you. They're lying to you because we in the executive branch, we in your federal legislature, i.e. Congress, have no basis. We have no skin in this game because we have no power to pass any laws here. So anyone who's telling you they're going to take away, they're a liar. And every time you hear someone say that, know that they're just trying to weaponize your emotion and say, oh my gosh, they're going to take away my rights, when that's just not reality. And that way we can start to expose the lies of the left. So his answer there is the perfect answer for a GOP candidate. It really is. Let's hear him on foreign policy.
This is where it should be. Ukraine is an example of when deterrents fail. What is an example there of Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, the fact that he greenlighted Putin moving into Ukraine, and then now they see weakness, and when they see weakness, they make a move. And we have to be strong, and we have to be strong both in Ukraine, and we can solve the southern border. Absolutely, we can do that.
See, I don't like that. I don't like him being strong in Ukraine. I don't like anyone who's saying, let's be strong in Ukraine. That bothers me. I'm not happy about that. I am hopeful that Trump will be successful in putting that war to rest, though. So that policy I'm not crazy about.
Some school districts are doing it.
But frankly, I don't know which. Maybe J.D. Vance is against supporting Ukraine. He might be against it. So perhaps he would be better in that regard if we can trust him. And J.D. Vance is exceptionally well-spoken. He's exceptionally well-spoken. He's a very smart guy.
Some school districts are doing a fantastic job, some less so. But the idea that every school district, state, and every teacher is somehow indoctrinating people is just false. A lot of noise tonight, not as much signal.
Well, that's true, I guess. No one should think that every teacher is indoctrinating people. So you get a little bit of his ability to articulate himself on the stage. Many of his policies I like. A couple of them I'm not crazy about. But the factor with him is I think he's kind of weird looking. There's something about him which is kind of, maybe it's the eyebrows. I don't know. I think he's kind of weird looking. Do you guys think that a politician's looks... I don't want to say politicians. Let's just focus on him in particular. Do you think that his looks have any impact in a negative way on him? That's an interesting... I'm gonna put this poll up on Rumble. Well, Rumble, where I want to see. I want to see my live chat there. That's weird. There it is. On Rumble, if you think that his looks are a hindrance at all, Doug Burgum's hindrance are a... Actually, you know what? Scale of 0 to 10, 10 being a significant hindrance, because I can do this on Rumble. Scale is 0 to 10. If you think it's no hindrance, put a 0. If you think it's some hindrance, just a tiny bit of hindrance, put it like a 1 or a 2. And if you think that it's a significant hindrance, give me like a higher number. Meanwhile, let me check out this rant from the blind lawyer who says, lawyers against wayward government in court is your movement name. Happy birthday, old man. Now drink your prune juice and say, get off my lawn. Not on the prune juice just yet. Wow, Bab says 10. Everyone... He does look like a Muppet. He does. Kimmy's right. He looks like a Muppet. I just showed what he looks like upon horizon. You just watched him for the last 5 minutes. That's heavy value. I'm seeing a lot of numbers of 5 or more. Wow. That's even more than I was thinking. I was like, I think it might have some impact. They're like, oh, hell yeah, I'm not voting for this guy. He looks crazy. He looks insane.
Hopefully you have a full belly. But most...
All right, let me check out. Let me see if I can... I'm going to put a poll up here. I'm making a poll. I'm almost done. Scale 1 to 10, how badly DeBurgum's looks hurt him, 10 being really bad impact. And I have 0, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and 7 plus. So you can weigh in and let me know what you think. Like you, I like League, but also consider Legion. Oh, that's not bad. Legion against... That's not bad. I mean, see? There you go. I mean, that looks right. I mean, Glocklachen Geburtstag. Yeah. And people wonder why German is called a romance language. What is your number now? Is it 99K? I'm sure it's not 99K. I'm not at 99K. No. I actually lost 10 people during the course of I'm working backwards. YouTube is sapping the life out of me. They're like, don't sing, Joe. Don't sing. Don't, for the love of God, don't sing. We heard that intro. I literally lost 10 people since this thing started. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Sad. So sad. It's Rubio. Rubio is VP. DeSantis self-appoints himself as Rubio's place in Senate, then new governor for Florida. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. I really don't want Rubio. Didn't he call him Little Marco? An interesting thing is that Marco Rubio would have to move. He would have to move because you can't, a little known fact is you can't have a president and a vice president from the same state. They need to be from different states. So he would have to move. I'm sure he's not going to tell Trump, move out of Mar-a-Lago. So, yeah, Rubio would have to move. People have been saying he looks like George Washington. That's very kind. Now, it's true, George was not exactly eye candy, but welcome. Nana knows, new member of the following. Welcome aboard. Acronym for the movement, bring order without egregious lawfare. The bowel movement. Do you want to join the bowel movement? Oh, my God. Looks matter. You cannot be bad looking. Average looking with an outgoing personality and strong ethics might help to overcome. So I guess baked into my question is the question as to how bad looking is he? It's really close. This might be the closest four-way poll I've ever had before. If you haven't voted yet, it's really close. Wow. Interesting. It's like the numbers are 27, 25, 27, 21. So your vote matters. Don't think your vote doesn't matter. Your vote matters. Anyhow, I think I'm hoping for Burgum. But maybe JD. I think I'd be good with JD Vance. Definitely not Rubio. Anyway, I wanted to share with you here. I was watching a little bit of Megyn Kelly. We're talking with Victor David Hansen, and I thought that they had some healthy insight. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I agree with a bunch of things he said. So I'm going to watch a little bit of her show and talk about some of the topics that they raised there, because I think it gives a nice little backdrop for further conversation about what we should anticipate in the presidential debates. I'll tell you this. So in fact, before I do that, maybe I'll forego that. Maybe I'm going to forego that. We should talk a little bit about if you're Donald Trump. What areas are you afraid of? Where do you think your strengths are? What should you be on the alert for? And let's bear in mind, in case you're unfamiliar, even though everyone keeps talking about this, this is an unusual type of debate in three separate ways. Number one is the timing. The timing is very, very strange. It's very early for a debate. Neither of these candidates has been officially recognized by their respective party as the presidential candidate. Some people speculate that the reason that this is being hosted as early as it is by CNN is because CNN is trying to help Democrats decide whether or not they believe that Joe Biden is a viable candidate. They want to see how he performs in this debate, and that if he really clunks out, that they're going to find some way to remove him, and they want to have as much time to pivot as possible. I'll come back to that later, but the timing here is very strange. If you would think that Donald Trump should have recognized this, recognized that he probably wants to take Biden on rather than taking on someone else, and said, I'll be happy to debate you after I'm nominated. Right now, I'm not yet nominated. I think that would have been a wiser move. I don't like him doing a debate this early. I think he should have waited. I think he should have said, you know what, I will debate you. I'll debate you in July. Even that's early. Traditionally, debates have been held in late August, September. This is a crazy early debate, and it's purposefully designed to help the Democrats so that they can decide whether or not they want Joe Biden to be their guy. Because if he craps out, we can be confident he will be replaced. And they're going to say, look, this was a disaster. Some speculate that if he doesn't see some sort of rebound in the polls, not just doing well, but that has to translate into poll numbers, that would be enough of a reason for him to be removed. And they want to see, look, can you get any sort of bounce from this, from a good debate? And that if he doesn't, he basically has one leg in the grave, not just physically, but in his political career. We all know he's one leg in the grave physically, but yeah, that his political career could be shorter than he's currently anticipating. So that's one weird thing. The second weird thing is there's no live audience. I saw people on, and the third part is that they're giving a mute button where they're telling them in advance, we might cut you off if you're talking out of turn. These are three unusual elements to this debate. Apparently, they will be standing for the full 90 minutes. I'm sure that they're getting Joe Biden plenty of sleep right now. They probably put him like comatose so that he can be well rested and alert when he comes out there, and pumping him and figuring out exactly what cocktail of drugs they should be giving him in order to make him seem like he doesn't physically have one foot in the grave. We saw how well they jacked him up for the State of the Union. And he got up there and spoke for over an hour. So you can anticipate that he'll have someone piping into his ear his answers, and he'll be expected to look healthy for a solid 90 minutes. They supposedly are prepping Joe Biden by giving him mock debates. Now, this is not crazy unusual. It's not crazy unusual. In fact, I believe that Donald Trump used mock debates in the past. They say Chris Christie, one of his most ardent detractors today, back in 2016, served as Hillary Clinton, which probably wasn't hard for him to play the role. Roughly same size, roughly same politics, and today roughly same hatred of Donald Trump. So yeah, that apparently he engaged in mock debates. He's not using mock debates now. He's just being he's going through different questions and answers that he should anticipate them coming at him with. And we'll talk about some of the questions and some of the attacks that we should anticipate each of them to get. I'll get to that very shortly as far as what we should anticipate that we will see during the course of this debate. So we have these three weird elements. Now, with respect to the lack of a crowd, I think that probably, who does that help? Who does that hurt? CNN, I saw one CNN analyst who was claiming that helps Trump. That when he sees a crowd there, he plays into the crowd to his own detriment. I don't know that that's true, but I'm a little hesitant to say that's definitely false. We know how well he plays off a crowd in front of when he's at a rally, but that's a completely different setting than a debate. We've seen him have some rough debates against Joe Biden in front of live audiences. I'm thinking of that one. I don't remember where it was, but it's definitely 2020 when he was debating Biden. I think it was down in Florida, and there was a live studio crowd all around him, and he seemed a little chaotic and defensive. And I do think that he reacts to the crowd. He's getting a feel for where the crowd is at and trying to react appropriately and trying to react in a way to turn the crowd in his favor. And when he cannot control the stage, it's a very different setting when you're sitting like this. What I'm doing now is the same level of comfort and control that he can have when he's at a rally. It's your environment. You can throw out anyone you don't like. You can go off on a tangent whenever the mood strikes you. And you're sitting there basically, you're able to run everything the way you want to and control the flow, the tempo, the flavor of the conversation. That level of control makes the moment a lot more sculptable for the person who's running the show. So he's great at it when he has his own show that he can run at a rally. But if he sees that a crowd is turning hostile on him at a debate, and he only has these little specks of moments that he can talk before he's going to be cut off, either by Biden or by the person who's conducting the debate, he looks far more handcuffed. And it's almost like sometimes he can appear like a bull that's chafing in the pen to try and buck out, and he's clearly uncomfortable with that box that they're putting him in, and doesn't play well. He looks far less comfortable than Biden, at least Biden when he was healthy. Obviously, he's a lot less healthy now, but let's assume that he's able to look healthy for 90 minutes, look like the Biden, at least a close facsimile of the Biden that we've seen as a politician for many decades. So we can anticipate that Biden is not going to look ruffled. He rarely looks ruffled in a debate. Think back to like the last time that you think Joe Biden looked like he was ruffled in a debate. Doesn't happen often. Again, he's older. Things could change. His cognitive decline is significant, but we should anticipate that his cognitive skills will be at their peak for Joe Biden, the octogenarian, and will be as close as possible to Joe Biden, the 65-year-old, for an hour and a half. So that being the case, and we know he's being well prepped with mock debates and all the zingers that they can give him, that they're prepping for him in advance to throw out there. So what should we anticipate that Joe Biden is going to be doing? Clearly, he's going to be attacking the fitness of Donald Trump's character. He'll be bringing up the convictions. He'll be bringing up the multiple charges and how he's facing off about this thing or about this case and about that case. He's likely going to bring up Roe v. Wade and how Donald Trump is responsible for Roe v. Wade being overturned, and try and paint that as some sort of negative, which to his base, it is a negative, but try to paint that as some sort of negative and try and portray him as some sort of racist misogynist. These are all things that we know he's going to do. Now, the issue with respect to him bringing up the convictions is kind of this particular the convictions in New York is frustrating because he's still under a gag today. He's under a gag order and he's limited in what he can say. So it's almost like we're going to bring you in here, haul you up here in front of an audience, mute you when we don't like what you're saying, potentially edit it because we don't know what time this is being filmed. We don't know that it's going to be live. And enable him to basically take pot shots at you where you're handcuffed from being able to respond appropriately and calling out the corruption and abuse that he faced. And really the question then comes for Donald Trump is, can you take it? Can you take it? And there are obvious answers that there are to each of these things. But far more important, I think, for Donald Trump as on the defense from these attacks that we should anticipate from Joe Biden, far more important than the response is his emotional reaction. If he is able to look calm and unflustered and calmly start refuting this crap, that gives the presidential aura that will enable people to say, where he says, well, I'm not surprised that you're proud of those convictions. You were behind them. You caused them. They were working in cahoots with you. You kept meeting it. You're sitting there chasing after a political adversary. But if he's screaming it, or he comes across in too aggressive a tone, then he's gonna lose the type of people that he's looking to pick up, type of people who are maybe recent converts to Trump. If he can play off as the calm strength of a leader, I think that is how the act of absorbing those blows without losing his cool is arguably the best thing that Trump can do in order to secure this debate. With like just sort of a little knock back at him for raising this sort of thing. For raising the convictions, raising the charges that have been brought against him. He's probably going to bring up also we should anticipate he's going to bring up the E. Jean Carroll situation and how he's, some sort of abuser of women and his corrupt business practices based on the Judge Engoron $450 million thing. And Trump can cut him off at the pass, whereas as soon as he brings up the first one, he can say, everyone should look here at how desperately Joe Biden has weaponized all these different agencies to come after his political opponent. Is this the type of America that you want? Type of America where they basically say his biggest political threat, that's the one we're going to change the laws in New York, that his Democratic friends are changing the laws in order to create a new cause of action of a 20-year-old case and wipe away the statute of limitations? Is that type of leadership that you're looking for, that you expected when you signed up for Joe Biden? Did you expect leadership where you would see them invent new ways of reinterpreting 34 convictions of a political adversary where no one today even knows what I did? No one today has any idea because you had a judge who came in there and said the jury can just pick from an array of potential crimes. But that's what Joe Biden's DOJ is. Where he has a special prosecutor who's coming after me that's never been properly approved by Congress or following any of the steps that they're supposed to be following, doesn't really have any authority, and he's coming after me in jurisdiction after jurisdiction, where he's meeting with Fani Willis, and Kamala Harris is coming in and bringing Fani Willis into the White House. Is this what you want? You want a leader who says the way I need to maintain my position of power that I've had for the last 50 years, and this before I ascended to the role of president, that I'm going to have to try and put my political enemies in jail and try to have them fined with outrageous, ridiculous fines for hundreds of millions of dollars when they borrow money and pay it back because we find some sort of technical loophole that we think we caught him on, and we can put him in a jurisdiction where he's not popular to try and get a jury that's going to go after him and find him guilty before the first witness is sworn in. Is that the kind of leadership you were looking for when you voted for him? Because I don't think that's what anyone was looking for. Turn it on its head. The way we all know, and the point is that to basically lean in on what caused his rise in popularity. His numbers have gone up because the public has seen how he's been targeted for lawfare. And if he can calmly point to that when he gets poked by Joe Biden in a debate, that's the most lethal way that he can refute any of that. But he's got to. It's all about his tone. It's all about his tone and his attitude. That's what he has to do. Let me get to some chats before I get into the nature of Trump's attacks on Biden and how Biden needs to defend. What we should be looking for. If Dr. Ben Carson learned Spanish, would he be more viable for VP? I've never liked Ben Carson. I've never liked him. It's a personal thing. I've never liked this guy. Maybe it's the eyes that are constantly drooping or the boring tone of voice. I can't listen to 3 sentences he says without, it's like he gives me narcolepsy. He gives me narcolepsy. Something about his voice. It's like, it's weird in that it's both an irritating voice and puts me to sleep. Because you would think, wow, when you're all like you can't fall asleep. No, I get irritated and exhausted and just, what's he talking about? So there's something about Ben Carson that I can't stand listening to the guy. I don't know what it is. I've tried several times, and every time I can't stand the guy. And it's not because, and I can be honest enough to tell you, it's not because of any politics I've ever heard him express. There's something about him that just makes me just, I don't know. So I can't consider him viable to be in any role where his mouth is open. He might be a brilliant surgeon. Might be. I'm not saying that, I'd be scared if he had, someone I cared about on the operating table, because I wouldn't have to listen to him. I'd be a little nervous that his nurses would fall asleep when he's like saying sponge, clamp. I'd be a little nervous about that. But, assuming that they can get through that, yeah. But as far as him engaging in speeches, Lord, no, I can't listen to him. I just butchered your language, did I? I wasn't trying. Einen glücklichen Geburtstag. Einen glücklichen Geburtstag. Is that better? The unsubscribed will live forever in the volcano. I feel bad for them. No way Biden lasts long enough without meds. Okay, so he'll be on meds. Mark Rubio predicts he will declare Trump a racist and or felon halfway through and bow out. Look. He's a racist. He hates women. Oh, good news. I went up one person. It's very exciting. Very exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. Master Phillips, I have it. Rubio VP has turned against letting illegal vote in blue states. Also, Trudeau wasn't elected on politics or intelligence or charisma. I think the left likes his politics. Let me see I want to see how my poll is coming along there. Let me see where my poll's at. Where's my poll at? My God, this is the closest poll ever. It's like I don't want to end the poll because it's so good. The numbers right now are 28, 26, 25, 21. It's crazy. I was just doing a quick look over my rants over there, making sure that I'm good. After Joe blew in my ear yesterday, I can no longer use my earphones for his show. I love you, Joe, but not the ear. It was pretty obvious where I was going. You could have just pulled it out. Master Phillips, Gifton, the king, Gifton. 5 good Lawgic memberships. Did I miss it? I almost definitely missed it. I totally missed it. I'm never going to see it. I'm never going to see it. Cynthia J gave a thank you, so maybe she got gifted. I'm gonna vote here. It's this way. Are they not letting me? I see that he gifted Sarah L. Lambert. Oh my gosh. And I missed who else he gifted. I'm like at the top of my thing here. Sarah and L. Lambert. Well, Sarah and L. Lambert. Welcome to the following. The following is not a cult. Type of cult. I am not the leader of the following. Say it again. Joe is not the leader of the following. Thank you. Thank you very much. But the following is really about personal growth through community, unity, and leadership training. Community, unity, and leadership training. Welcome to Follow, you guys. Welcome aboard. We have cookies. Really now, if Trump did a mock debate with Jeff Dunham, it would break the internet. Probably. Kathy, your realtor in New Jersey, says, have you heard a theory that Hillary will be the replacement, not Michelle? Can you even imagine? Oh my God. Mike, think about this for a second. Think about this for a second. Just imagine what a friggin' gift that would be for Donald Trump. What a friggin' gift. That you basically replace the least popular president in American in the last century, at the very least popular president in America in the last century, arguably in history, with the least popular presidential candidate in American history. What a gift. My God. Do it. Do it. Do it. Replace her. Replace him with Hillary. Oh my God. That would be amazing. 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 God, so detestable and unlikable. Everything about her. Everything about her is so gross and unlikable. So many scandals. So many jokes about Epstein that we'll hear. Oh my gosh. With the most unlikable human being imaginable. That would be great. Tim Pool's report on CNN is going to claim anyone restreaming. What? Maybe they'll try. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how. I don't know what basis, but I certainly will be restreaming. I will be watching that live. I'm urging Walt to join me, and we'll see what happens. Biden requests sit for debate, and if I have to, look, if it ends up that you can only watch me on Rumble, so you watch me on Rumble. I don't think they'll have power over Rumble. So if you'll only be able to watch me on Rumble, you watch me there. Biden requests sit for a debate, both sitting in chairs. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to dear Joe. Happy birthday to you. Thank you so much. That's very thoughtful. I appreciate that. I know he did request they both sit in chairs, and Trump was like, no, I'm that far I'm not giving you. Stand on your own freaking legs. God, he's such a disaster. He is such a disaster. All right. So, what about Trump's attacks on Biden? I would anticipate that he's going to attack him on his. You have the person and you have the policy, right? Which both suck. Both suck when you're Joe Biden. Both are not very easily marketable. His policies have been an utter disaster, and his personhood is very sus. I would lean into if I was Trump, I'm trying to think as far as strategically, where do I want to invest my attacks? Where do I want to invest my attacks? So we know. I think I would focus on the corruption. I would focus on the corruption and the fact that he lied about the laptop. Not to resurrect 4-year-old stories, but to basically say, your son, the DOJ used that laptop that you said was not yours because you said it was not Hunter's. That's what you said in the last time I debated you. That's what you said. It's a lie. It's a lie. You lied to the people when you said that. You lied to them. Are you willing to apologize to all the folks who are watching this now for the lie you said? How dirty you played in that last election? That you got your fake news like CNN here to lie for you and claim that this was definitely not Hunter Biden's laptop. and all the secrets that were revealed on there, aside from this sordid, I wouldn't get into the sexual parts. I wouldn't get into the disturbing morality elements, but I would get into the corruption and say that perhaps the reason your policies have all failed is because you've been too deeply invested in enriching yourself rather than actually helping America. You're too weak as a leader to actually come up with good policies. Our foreign enemies have seen that. We all saw the disaster in Afghanistan. There are 13 Marines who were lost in Afghanistan because of your utter incompetence. And he'll respond, and you know he's going to respond, you're the one who demanded that we pull out then. And so, yeah, pulling out was the right way, was the right call at that time. We were there for 20 years. Can't spend the next 5 centuries in Afghanistan, but you have to pull out with competence, and you displayed your utter incompetence. And then people like Putin see that and say, oh, okay, this guy's weak, doesn't know what he's doing, and that's why he's going into Ukraine. Every death in Ukraine is on you. It's on your weakness. We're sitting here sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. There wouldn't be a conflict in Ukraine if you had told the truth about that laptop, and I would have won the election. Now, the issue about the election is likely to come up, and his election, his election, what they'll call your election to hit Trump's election denialism, will likely come up. And this is a hot topic issue that I think Trump is best served trying to dodge without ceding any ground on it. Don't want to sit here making this a whole, because they'll try and hit him on January 6th and say how he started this insurrection. That's what Biden's going to try and hit him on. That you're going to, and he'll try to hit him on if you lose, are you going to try and start an insurrection again? So you're Donald Trump. Ask yourself, you're preparing for this, assuming that's the way the question is phrased. How do you address that properly? Because there's all sorts. Because you have to realize he's trying to win votes not from you. You're already voting for him. At least 98 out of 100 of you are already voting for him. So he's not trying to win votes from you. He's trying to win votes that are winnable, not from the hardcore left, but that are winnable. And most of the winnable folks think that what happened January 6th was a travesty. They do. You need to recognize that it was a travesty, what happened January 6th. And to some degree, they're going to hold Trump accountable for what happened on January 6th. You don't want to cede any again. And then the question is, do you accept the results of the 2020 election? We should anticipate that question coming at him also. And the response to me is, I accept and the last thing, he's going to accept the results of this election if he loses. These are questions that if you're Donald Trump's team, you need to anticipate. These questions are definitely going to be thrown at you, and you need to have rock solid answers that are consistent with your political perspectives, not a 180 in any way, shape, or form, but are not going to be rubbing people wrong, or rubbing the way you're phrasing it are going to rub as few people wrong as possible. They'll be rubbing some people wrong. That you can't worry about. You can't please all the people all the time. But you have to sort of prepare, okay, what am I going to do with these questions when this is thrown at me? When I'm asked about my election denialism 2020, when I'm asked whether I'm going to deny the election 2024, when I'm asked about J6, how am I going to deal with this? When I'm asked if I'm going to free the J6 people, the people who were arrested and convicted on J6. So, for each of these issues, I think that with respect to his election denialism in 2020, I think that should be similar to which is not really denialism. It's really question. It's challenge. He admits that an election happened. It's just a matter as far as the reported results or what he's questioning. And I think that's not a bad way to start off your response and say, I don't really. You call it election denialism, and I don't think that's a proper way of wording it. I questioned the nature in which those votes were counted, and as should every American. You should all be questioning, why is it that things are done behind closed doors? Why is it that GOP watchers were being pushed away in Philadelphia? Why is it that they're boarding up windows in Detroit? Why is it that they're shipping in cartons in the middle of night in Michigan? Why is it that they're flooding in Georgia and clearing everyone out and then still counting? And then Georgia told us it was going to take another day, a few hours to count the last 100,000 votes. They counted millions of votes in 5 hours, and they spend the next 4 days trying to come up how to count another 150,000 votes. What the hell happened? I think Americans have a right to get answers to these questions. Now, not to overturn the results of the last election, but to ensure that our elections are being run properly here. He might be asked if he's going to pardon him. So that's how I think he answers those questions with respect to the election. With respect to the questions as far as J6, I think he would say, I think he needs to keep laying into the importance of transparency. I think that's the healthiest answer he can give. I don't know that he will give that answer, but I think that laying in there is a sweet spot that's consistent with his perspective and is something that's difficult to refute. It's difficult for them to actually argue about. No, we shouldn't have transparency. They should be putting up blockers as the election counters. They should be pushing GOP people further back. So that's what I would think is his healthiest response to those types of questions. He'll likely be asked, if he wins, will he pardon himself from these crimes that he's being charged with? On that one, I would simply answer no. And say, I don't need to. I'll be found not guilty. That's how I would do it. I would basically say, I'm going to be found not guilty. Because I didn't commit any crimes. And I trust the justice system. That is an answer they would never expect from him. They would never expect him to say that. And I think that's the most powerful answer. I didn't do anything. I didn't commit any crimes. So I'm confident that our justice system is going to find us not guilty. Well, what happened in New York? Well, New York, you had a judge there who basically broke New York law. And that's why that's going to be overturned on appeal. Boom. Shazam. I hope Trump's team is watching because I'm giving you all the perfect answers here. I'm giving you all the perfect answers. All right? All right? Here are your perfect answers, Donald. Team Trump. If you are Trump, I do think that you want to I think you want to stay away from getting in on anything sordid. You definitely want to hit him hard about Afghanistan. You want to hit him hard about the border. Very hard on the border. Very, very hard on the border. I would say, what steps are you taking to ensure? I would ask him, with all the millions of people who streamed across the border, what steps are you taking to ensure that these people don't vote? Are you taking any steps? Doing anything to ensure that we're going to have a fair election here? You're asking me to accept the results of the next election. What steps are you going to take to ensure that the 12 million people who have streamed across our border under your watch are not going to be voting in the next election? If you can give me an answer for that, and an answer with respect to transparency of our elections, I'll accept the results. So I throw down the challenge to you, Joe. I throw it down to you. You tell me, what steps are you going to take to ensure there's transparency, that every person, every American citizen over the age of 18 gets one vote, and that those votes are counted properly, and that there's not double counting. If you can ensure that, I can promise you that I will accept the results of the election. It sounds reasonable. That's the point. Sounds reasonable. That's the point. He needs to sound calm and reasonable. And if he can do that, Biden has nothing. He has nothing. He doesn't even need to be very aggressive because Biden's record speaks for itself. So I would hit him on the border. I would hit him about his failed foreign policy. I would hit him on the 13 Marines. I would definitely hit him on the economy. Hit him on the economy. And all the shadiness going on around him, all the questions around him. Do not hit Hunter Biden. I would not hit Hunter Biden. You can hit on the laptop, Hunter's laptop. You can use how the laptop was used in a conviction of Hunter Biden. But if he hits on Hunter Biden, I'm going to be very disappointed in his prep. He should not be attacking Hunter Biden. Because Hunter Biden gives him an opportunity, gives Joe Biden an opportunity to seem like a sympathetic father. Now, you can hit on the corruption with respect to the Biden family in Ukraine. You can hit on that. But he shouldn't be focusing on anything related to Hunter's drugs. I wouldn't even really, I'm sort of torn about the whole art thing and how he's like, I would basically talk about how the Biden crime family is constantly finding new ways to pilfer money. And how wealthy Joe Biden has become since he first joined Congress. All these wealthy deals. I might address, and this we should anticipate Trump probably will address, that finding from her report, HUR, the her report, which attacked his cognitive abilities. So the only reason that Joe Biden here is not a criminal is because he's considered too cognitively deficient to stand trial. At least that's what investigators said when they looked into him. I'm sufficiently fit to face 4 trials, and he's insufficiently fit to face even 1. That's according to their guy. That's how you make clear to everyone just the without, you don't make it that it's you bring evidence to support the claim rather than just saying you're old or you can't even remember. I mean, he'll do the jabs, but I really hope it's not a lot of jabbing on him as a person. The jabs should come via facts that you're dropping, not name calling. And he tends to do that, to be fair. He tends to do that. But I really want to see him be completely calm and not look like his hackles are up at all. At all. That's what I'm really hoping for. Now, as far as what America, if you're a Trump fan, if you are a Trump fan and you want Trump to win, you probably should be rooting for Biden to hold his own. You should be rooting for Biden not to get crushed here. Not now. Not here. Not now. Next debate at the end of the summer, by all means, you want to see him get decimated and look as addled and stupid and cognitively deficient as possible. Right now, we just want to bake in here and do everything possible to ensure that he's actually able to make it all the way through to September. So I'm rooting for Joe Biden to put on a decent showing. I think he will. And Trump, to his credit, has basically been making statements saying, look, I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to be effective in the debate. I don't think he's going to be an easy debate. And that's a smart tactic. This is showing an older and wiser Donald Trump. And I do think we're seeing him learn. Thankfully, we're seeing him learn how to be a better politician. Because basically he set himself up that if he says that he's going to be a failure, then he's saying the bar very low. If you say, I think he's going to do well, in that case, now the burden shifts to Biden to actually live up to Trump's expectations of you. So, yeah, that's what I'm foreseeing here. That's what I'm foreseeing for what we should expect. Anyone have any questions about any other issues that you think should be brought up? It's not finish him, because if you finish him, you're going to be facing Gavin Newsom. Maybe Hillary. You'll be facing Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a much tougher opponent for Trump. Much tougher opponent. I can be brown, I can be blue, I can be... The debate benefits, Blind Lawyer says, debate benefits Trump in that it put pressure on the courts to get off their asses and do their damn job. Debating early makes it so that election starts early. It benefits Trump in that it put pressure on the courts to get off their asses and do their damn job. You think, Blind Lawyer, you think that there's any decisions that are being offered in any of these 4 cases any sooner, or by you think that so you're actually now making me cogitate over something. Will the Supreme Court grant immunity to Trump prior to the election, to the debate? Will they give him that win? Will they give him that win going into the debates? Debate's on Thursday. The next Supreme Court drop is going to be on Thursday. Will it be included in there? Will be next week. This is a good question. I could actually see SCOTUS. I don't think SCOTUS likes Trump very much. I do think that they're going to end up giving him a win on the immunity issue. Not that they'll dismiss the case. And let's be clear. The Florida action involves papers he took with him. There's almost certainly no presidential immunity for the Florida case. Now, I don't think he needs immunity in Florida. I think that even if he had a judge who would hate him in Florida, they'll never get a jury that's going to convict him down in Florida. It's my personal take. But I think that the immunity would affect the Georgia RICO case and potentially affect the D.C. case. The D.C. case is death for Trump if he actually has to go to trial. If he has to go to trial on anything in D.C., he's a walking dead man. They might have zero evidence, nothing. They don't need any evidence. We saw how little evidence they needed to get convictions in New York. And as bad as a jurisdiction as New York is for Trump, D.C. is 10 times worse. So any jury that he selects in D.C. will convict him of any crime put before them. If they claim that, he started an outbreak of leprosy, they would convict him. But where? No, look. Jack Smith said that there was leprosy and that Trump was at fault. So, beyond a reasonable doubt, he's the one who caused it. That's what would happen. If there were charges in D.C. that he had started an outbreak of leprosy, the D.C. jury would convict him. That's how little faith I have in him getting a fair trial in D.C. So, between you and me, he's gonna go to prison for the D.C. thing unless he wins. Now, I think the Supreme Court is going to grant him some level of immunity, but I don't think they're going to give him blanket immunity and knock those charges out altogether. Question is, will they give him that win? Will they give him that win prior to the debate? Usually, the Supreme Court wraps up by the last Thursday of June. That's usually when we get the last decision. Sometimes Friday. The Dobbs decision came down 2 years ago today, June 24th. So, yeah. They say the biggest ones for the end. Happy anniversary, Dobbs. Blind lawyer asking, would we talk about the gag order even but for debate? SCOTUS is political and power. Supreme Court could also hit the New York City case too. Could it hit the New York? It could hit the New York City case depending on how broadly they attach a privilege. It's an interesting question. Because those were actions that he took purportedly during his presidency. I don't think they would, but could. Because I think that's more of his personal record keeping, and I don't think they're going to give him immunity for anything he does that relates to his. I don't know what. My gut feels very confident that at the end of the day, he's going to get immunity. They're going to say a president has immunity for any official acts done as president. And here's how we're defining official acts. And I think they're going to say official acts are anything expressly called for in the Constitution or any office that he is ultimately considered the command, any executive agency, any actions he take that relate to an executive agency that he's ultimately in charge of. So there's an executive agency out there that the president oversees, and he takes action that relates to that. That's part of his presidential duties. It would not, for example, relate to a speech that he gives. I think that's where they're going to draw the line. Unless that's maybe if that speech is to inform the nation. Like a State of the Union speech, I think that's an official act of a president. So if he committed some sort of crime while he's engaging in the State of the Union, wouldn't that be awesome? Oh my God. What a great question that would be. Imagine they gave him exoneration. Imagine they gave a president exoneration. He's got immunity for anything, unless he's convicted. I guess unless he's impeached and convicted by the Senate. But if he goes, and then he would go to the State of the Union and say, "I will give $1 million to any person who deletes that woman right there." As long as it's done in the next 5 minutes. If he were like to incite something, like commit a verbal crime right there from the State of the Union. That'd be hilarious. But you see, in that scenario, he'd be impeached. Right? Imagine, this is what I want you all to just realize. This is what's so short-sighted about the left. I have enough faith in Congress, and I have very, very little faith in Congress. Very little faith. Very, very little, like really small, really, really small. And yet I have enough confidence in them that if a guy would go up there and say something like that would incite someone to be physically pummeled to death, and it'd be very overt, and then the result happened a minute or two later, 5 minutes later, that there actually would be a conviction in the Senate. There would not just be an impeachment, but there would be a conviction in the Senate. And then you can charge him. If I consider there may not be an election going into full-scale war in October, then they can cancel the election during wartime. Can they? That's a new one. No, you can come up with any number of scenarios that would be historical and have never happened in American history before. And really, the only limitation to any examples that you can come up with as to how this could be derailed You're only limited by your imagination. Would I say any of them are impossible as long as they're not involving people, other life forms from another galaxy? I would say almost any scenario you can paint for me, I would say it could happen. I can't rule that out. But that's the type of concern that we can't really even wrap our heads around, because then you're worried, you're living a life of paranoia. And that doesn't mean that you're wrong to be concerned. I'm not saying you're wrong to be concerned. I'm simply saying, how many different concerns can we sit there worrying about? Maybe they'll start a war. Maybe there'll be a power grid. Maybe there'll be an EMP blast. Maybe someone will physically harm Donald Trump. Maybe they'll get to his Secret Service and get them to off him. Maybe you can come up with 1,000 maybes as to what could happen. What could happen. But we can't sit here as humans worrying about every one of them as if, like, let's sit here hoping that doesn't happen. Especially when we're powerless to do anything about it if it did happen. So, what are you going to do? That's a bridge that will be crossed when we come to it. It's not like the left is very good at coming up with like brilliant strategies. I think people give them too much credit because of their success in stealing the 2020 election. They give them way too much success. Look how poorly they figured out how to like crush Trump's political career. They basically, they turned him into a practically messianic figure by martyring him with one lawfare after another. They're the ones who put him up on a pedestal. I don't know. Claudia Tenney, not MF. I don't know. I don't follow who he endorses. For a few reasons. Number one, I don't really trust his opinion on people. I don't think he's a good judge on individual talent. I think he's much better at understanding how the masses think than understanding how individuals think. So I don't put much stock in that. I really wouldn't put it past him to be very bribable in who he favors. And I'm only saying that because Dr. Oz, he supported Dr. Oz, for crying out loud. So I don't really put much stock in who he endorses. Joe, did you foresee Trump being brought to court for violation of the gag orders? Do I foresee Trump being brought for violation of the gag orders as a result of what he says in this debate? Could happen. Definitely could happen. It's probably more likely that he would incorporate that into his sentencing, but I wouldn't rule it out. His sentencing for those convictions are supposed to happen July 11th, 4 days before the convention. Joe is now sitting in with Blue Oyster Cult. I'm saying, don't fear the Reaper. Claire Trejo asks, what about Title IX? I don't know what to do with that question. You bet Trump will bring up the murders by the illegals? For sure he should. For sure. For sure. Trump phoned the Rachel Morris mother, then the 12-year-old girl in Texas. And he's really good at that. He's good in the way he does that. Where he's like, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. People, you see this? He's great at weaponizing news like that. He really is. And I think he'll be very lethal in that, in using that properly. Where he expresses the right level of sympathy while destroying his opponent. Yeah. His mother lost her baby because of Joe Biden. That's how you play it. Have you called her up and apologized for allowing all these illegals in? Questions like that are a very loaded question. It's a very, very loaded question. What was I going to say? No? Oh, so you did accept responsibility? It's like basically, it's like asking a question like that. You throw a question like that. I love that. I love frame. I'm glad you brought this up. As far as Rachel Morin's mother, I mean, did you call? And It's great if he references Rachel Morin's mother by first name. Who is from? Rachel Morin's mother. Patty Morin. That'd be such a great thing for him to do. Ask, did you call Patty Morin after an illegal murdered her baby? Did you? Have you called and apologized for having such lax policies that they can just walk across your border without fear of anyone even slowing them down? So I was going to say, no, I didn't call Patty. It's like a question like that is, you know, it's like asking, you know, do you feel, you know, it's like do you feel guilty for, do you feel guilty? It's like it assumes the facts that you're looking to pin on him. There's a movie that most of you are too young to have seen. Great movie featuring Michael Douglas and Sean Penn called The Game. I highly recommend it. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend it. I will not ruin the movie for you because I figure enough you probably have never seen it and you would appreciate it. Great movie. Not that I can tolerate Sean Penn very much, but he does a great job. He was a pretty good actor, Sean Penn. And in the movie, Michael Douglas has to take all these questions before he's able to participate in the game. And he's like baffled by these questions. He's like, what the hell kind of questions are these? Do you feel guilty like when you know, have sexual thoughts about your mother, yes or no? It's like, what the hell kind of question is that? And that's what this question, and it's the same question. If you say, did you call up Patty Morin's and apologize to her for allowing her, that your policies allowed her baby to get murdered by an illegal alien. That your open border allowed her baby to die. Did you apologize to her, to Patty Morin's, for that? It's like, what do you say to that? Whether he did or he didn't. That's how you get him on policy. The Game was a great movie. SCOTUS announced that this week they will be dropping opinions on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Guaranteed immunity question is going to be dropped on Friday. You're not going to see that one Wednesday or Thursday. No. Let's wait till after. For sure, they're going to do that. For sure. I'd be very surprised if we see that before Friday. Bastards. Do you think the Ruskies are more tempered in response to our flagrancy in the hope that after November they might have a non-insane administration in the U.S. would actually be willing to make peace? No, I think so. I think Putin would rather work with Trump than with Biden, for sure. For sure. Oh, look at this. The birthday wishes rolled in here. Happy 60th birthday, Joe. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. There's so much baggage with Newsom, the dictator of CA of California, speaking from experience, also with the dictatorship of the city and county of Los Angeles. Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible. He's terrible. They had a whole recall election on him. I know. But the left doesn't look at him that way. And his evil, he's certainly going to win California. I mean, let's face it, a dead plant would win in California if they have if they're blue. So, and then the rest of the country hasn't seen firsthand how terrible he is. Why hasn't Trump filed an appeal in New York and stay sentencing? Happy birthday. You can't just stay sentencing. Thank you. You can't just stay sentencing by filing an appeal. That doesn't stay sentencing. I don't believe it does. I'm not a criminal defense attorney, but I don't believe it does. Jenny! Thank you, Connie. Happy birthday with the warm birthday wishes. Appreciate that. Trump accepted early debate because he's the better boxer. And when you're the better boxer, you fight your opponent anytime, any place, because otherwise it may not happen at all. Yeah. Getting older ain't easy. No, it's actually one of the easiest things to do. You really don't have to do very much when you get older. You're 8 minutes older than when you wrote this thing. It happens. It's really easy getting older. How do Democrats not see that putting up a well-meaning, forgetful man as their guy exposes them for turning executive seat into a puppet show? Okay. Here's what you're missing that's laced into your question that you're missing, Barracuda. There's a very critical distinction in mindset of how well and how mature you are in your development as to what you are looking for and your expectations of those people who are around you. When you are a baby, literally a baby, a toddler, a 5-year-old, you look to your mother and father, hopefully if you're in a healthy family home, you're looking to your parents to protect you, to look out for you. Even through teen years, most kids have some level of dependence. And part of a role of a parent is to wean you off of that dependence as you mature into a functioning adult who can stand on their own 2 feet. Someone like that, someone who has that maturity level, never wants to see that they're going to be shoved off into their own 2 feet. Part of the problem with the education system and the way our governance has worked is that they've worked to weaken the individual so that they're more dependent and never mature into someone who feels comfortable standing on their own 2 feet. Similarly, some people don't like being the ones who have to make a decision. Don't make me decide. You decide. You decide. Because they're afraid that if they make a decision that people look at as being the wrong decision, that they're going to be judged harshly. And they don't want to face that emotional criticism, even if it's not expressed, even if it's just thought and felt. They're afraid. Their insecurities make them afraid of people looking at them that they made the wrong call, so they'd rather someone else make the call. These are natural, for lack of a better word, followers. I don't mean followers like you guys here, but people who are naturally adept and dependent that they have to be a follower. If they're not a follower, that they feel lost and alone. And they feel comfort in the hive mentality. They feel comfort in a recognition that other people agree with me, that we're safe under this umbrella. So there's a collective mentality, which is very consistent with Marxist ideology. And this is the sort of thing that if you're not well developed, not mature, you are happy to be under an umbrella where people are making decisions for you, telling you what to do, where you basically feel as, okay, I'm doing the right thing because this parental figure, whether it's an actual parent or a substitute parent that you embrace for yourself, and that could be a teacher, it could be someone in government, it could be an employer, that they are making decisions for you. It could be a spouse for some people. Similarly, some people don't need to look at the president as if they recognize that the president's not the one making the call. But they feel comfortable that their parent is the system. This healthy American system, whereas the president has this cadre of people who are all, they assume, well-meaning, well-intentioned, and potentially experts, specialists in their different fields, who are making the decisions, making the right calls, whether it's a general out in the field or some tactician or strategist, whether it's a doctor making medical decisions for the entire nation, whether it's some attorney as the head of the DOJ, But they look to these institutions as if they are the bedrock of our society. And a lot of them are on the right also. These are neocons tend to think like this. It's a cuckified attitude of people who are more skilled, more intelligent, and more expert in these various areas are making the decisions to the best of their abilities and better than I ever could do it. That's them saying, they're saying about themselves. Better, much better than I'll be able to do. I don't even want to make a decision. And these are people who are experienced decision makers, who are experts in these particular areas, who are making these decisions. So it doesn't matter to them if the president himself is a feeble-minded old man who doesn't understand what's happening around him, because he has that circle of experts unknown. And I don't need to know who these are because I'm sure they're experts. I'm sure they know more than me. This is the mindset I'm sharing with you. So it doesn't matter if he's a forgetful old man, because I'm really voting for the party. I'm voting for that the people who are going to be there are going to have values that are consistent with my values. They're going to have attitudes that are consistent with my attitudes. This was part of what was being baked in by Barack Obama when he tried portraying the other side as inherently evil. So now when you're voting for us, even if you don't know who's actually running the country, well, there's a whole group of people who are running the country. That's what they think. And if you told them that it's actually Barack Obama who's the one who's running the country with Biden as the figurehead puppet, that would make them only happier. They'd be like, does it make him president for the next 50 years? I'm happy with that. That's how they would think. So pointing that out to them is actually a loss if you're hoping to actually shake them out of that mindset, because they all have been so ridiculously blinded into the divisiveness and terribleness of Barack Obama that if they thought that were true, that would make more of them line up to vote for Biden, not fewer. So Barack Obama running the show in DC will remain the secret that neither side wants to share, because you can't, if you're the left, you can't admit that Obama's doing anything. If you're on the right, you know that, hey, if that did become public, that probably wouldn't change his position there, and it would only make whoever is running for the Democratic ticket that much stronger in the minds of the public. So we should anticipate that anytime there's a Democrat that's in there who's anything less than being very powerful, very strong, that person is probably going to be under the thumb of Barack Obama and his circle of friends who he's hanging out with them. We're not through with the Obamas by a damn sight. Not by a damn sight. But that answers your questions as far as well-meaning and forgetful. That they're okay with that. They don't care about that at all. Like really at all. At least the diehards. I think the people in the middle are more concerned about that. They recognize the value and importance of having a real leader. I think. Most of them. But that's all consistent with the mindset of someone who's happy to have others make decisions for them because they're not sufficiently matured. They're not sufficiently developed. Speaking of people who are not sufficiently matured and not sufficiently developed, I wanted to share something with you all. While we're talking about people not sufficiently mature or developed, this is a phenomenon which I think I want to get your take on this. Look at I want you to see this. This ended. Oh, damn it. Anything still going? Oh, damn it. Oh, that's not good. I should have shown this a long time ago. They have this new thing now on TikTok, which is astonishing. It's astonishing. Where they have these Biden versus Trump battles. I'm trying to find one of them. They're all live streamed, I'm trying to find one of them, and they all seem like they're over. See, every time I'm doing this, every one of these I'm clicking on, I'm getting this. And I don't know how to watch it as a live. Every one of these I'm clicking on, I'm getting this. Live has ended. One viewer. Why? How's there a viewer? How's there a viewer? And what they have here, what they do is they'll have one guy who's standing in front of his sign that says Team Biden, another one standing in front of a Team Trump. And they basically are telling their live, the people who are watching them, to send them flowers or other or lightning bolts to to express whether whether you are Team Biden or Team Trump. And there's one guy from each side, and they have these battles. You know, for the next 5 minutes, we're going to see send lightning if you're for Trump and send flowers if you're for Biden, and you know we're gonna and they keep a counter going as to how many come within 5 minutes. Come on, guys, come on, let's go! Don't you realize how old Biden is? As the Trump guy is like screaming, "Don't you realize how old he is? Throw those lightnings up there!" And they go for hours, which is people throwing in, which they pay money. They collect money for every lightning bolt and flower gets thrown. Some people throwing motorcycles. I don't even know what the heck they're throwing. They collect tons of money. And there's so many of these channels on TikTok where it's like, oh, yeah, you're making all the difference by giving me your money because we're we're going to beat Team Biden. You got to respect the grift. You got to respect the grift. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta get Pisco on for something. God. Such great grift. Such great grift. Yeah. It's the grift that keeps on giving. Just like you lost Bo to cancer, they lost their child to you and your stupid policies. No, Kimmy, you don't bring up Bo. You don't bring up Bo. Now he'll bring up Bo on his own. I lost my son. I know myself. You might try to answer that way. You don't bring up Bo. No Bo. No Bo. I don't want to hear about Bo. No. You just tagged me on X. Dan Scavino post is hilarious. I have so many things. There's so many things I didn't even start touching on yet. I know you're trying to help. I could. Where do I see? I love it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. parody says, "Good evening, folks. I need help. Who should host my debate this Thursday? Bonus points for creativity." And I got tagged by Haley P. Thanks, Haley. I can't just find where you tagged me here. I'm looking for it. I don't see it. Now I got this song playing in my head. I'm trying to see if I can't find it. I'm sorry, brother. One more quick look. This is what I'm looking at. Oh, there's Dan Scavino. There we go. I think I found it. There you are.
Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100%. If you're having trouble sleeping, ask your doctor about Bidenica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to, anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica. And
Nice. I like how they throw in like his failures. And they tore down the Keystone Pipeline.
never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning. People who have used Bidenica have experienced rapid lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Not bad. Not bad. That was cute. That's not bad. Good job, mister. I'll take it. Thank you. Joe, my birthday's tomorrow, the 25th, only 11 o'clock here. Oh, you're saying birthday's me. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chad. Jack Smith, yes. Today I heard Devin Nunes mention as possible VP choice. He helped Trump start up Truth Social after leaving Congress. I like that choice. I like Devin Nunes. I like him. I like Devin Nunes. I like him better than the other three. Old people are just babies with wrinkles. This is true. Regarding SCOTUS decisions this week, Julie Kelly posted this today. After announcing Wednesday as an opinion day, SCOTUS adds Thursday, usual day, and Friday, in addition to Florida hearings today and tomorrow. What a week. Yes, Florida hearings are ongoing right now. Are ongoing. Today, Judge Cannon was yelling at the DOJ attorney, supposedly. It's so frustrating that we can't get anyone tweeting in there. You're not allowed to bring a phone into the courtroom because it's a federal courthouse. Can't even bring a phone in there. So basically, people go in there, take notes, and come out and report. It's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. But tomorrow, yeah, it's very exciting what's coming out this week. This is true. Biden is so based he can not only stand on his own 2 feet, he can grab standing on them as well. We need a strong POTUS because there are 535 legislative, 9 judicial, and one POTUS to rule them. One POTUS to rule them all. This is true too. I'm a no on something, anything with Pisco. I know you hate him. Every time I mention his name, it's like Debbie, like she like gets like the jitters. No. Joe / Good Logic is the best. Thank you, T Renee. Nothing will stop me from watching. Well, you two may try. Soltron says Biden, my son Bo was roped and unalive by an illegal alien too. I don't know if he'll say that. All right. I mentioned another topic I wanted to cover as we wrap that up. I covered all the breakdown as to how the election, as how the debate should go, and different questions we should anticipate and the proper responses that Trump should give. I mean, if I'll just close out by sharing this. Biden's going to have to deflect, and I'm sure he'll throw out different policies. What he likely will do is gaslight. He will likely gaslight about how the economy is great. The economy is great. Unemployment is low, and all this other crap about, and then the stock market is up, and basically claim that he has the best economy ever, and how phenomenal he was, and how he took over. And he'll probably hit up there about how he took over from Trump after when the economy was in disaster. Trump shouldn't even bother with that garbage. That's what he's definitely going to go to. That he's definitely going to say, look. When I came in, the unemployment was at 9%. 9%. We got it down to 4.3%. We did it. Can't let that bug you. Can't. You need to undercut by showing how unemployment is such a poor statistic, because there's such apathy right now, and that such a high percentage of Americans aren't looking for jobs anymore because this economy is so terrible. That's how you come after him. Don't go after him on that, and don't start going in there saying everyone locked down and stuff like that. That's not what people want to hear. People don't want to be. You don't want to replay everything that was going on in 2020. The less he can focus on things of 2020, the better I think Trump will be. He's not going to be able to get away from it completely. He's a fake adult, can't make his bed and poses hypotheticals in lieu of actually debating it. Oh, you're talking about Pisco? All right, fair enough. So a lot of people are constantly are concerned about the deep divisions in America. And I saw this article which basically said, you know how America would be fixed pretty quickly? This article inspired me to realize how America could be fixed really quickly. Michael Phelps heated after watching Australian swimmer rip Team USA. I would make them eat every word. Phelps wants Team USA to use Kate Campbell's diss as fuel for Paris Olympics. I haven't watched this clip. Is this the right clip I'm looking for?
New Jersey is leading the nation in clean energy investments with one thing in mind. You are clean.
I think she's going to show up like she always does. Katie knows when to perform.
Katie Ledecky's dominance.
So
she's a swimmer
going on
from Australia.
12 years of showing up exactly when she needs to, and I think the competition is extremely tough. Ariane Titmus the past 3 years, and even Tokyo, did phenomenal. She's an incredible athlete, and I think Katie, she relishes the challenge. She loves the competition. She loves having people that are going to push her to be even better. Summer has been doing incredible. Just broke her own world record at Canadian trials. So I think we're going to expect a ton out of Summer this summer. And I think she's ready, and she's young, and she has such an amazing future ahead of her. So I think Katie's an incredible role model. She's an incredible leader for Team USA. So I think alongside her accomplishments in the pool, she's also going to have amazing accomplishments outside of it when it comes to being that veteran for Team USA and really showing and leading the way with her experience and her knowledge.
This doesn't help me at all. This didn't give me anything. This was a waste of our time. I apologize for that. What was it? God. I hate how all these news articles, they give you a video at the top to make you think like this is going to be related to the story. And it's like sort of related, but not what you really want, the clip you want to see. Michael Phelps, the United States swimmer who owns the most Olympic medals in the game's history with 28, might be out of the pool, but his competitive spirit is still very much alive. It was quite evident when he was shown a video of an Australian swimmer complaining about the United States swim team leading up to the Paris Olympics. NBC Olympics and Team, because the Olympics are coming, in case you didn't realize, this August in Paris. NBC Olympics and Team USA Instagram pages show the clip of Phelps being given a phone where he watched Kate Campbell, 32-year-old Australian who spoke with the country's Channel 9 at the 2023 World Championships in Japan. In the clip, Campbell is bragging about beating Team USA in the pool, and Australia had 15 gold medals to the States' 7, though Team USA left Japan with 40 total medals to Australia's 30. Such sore losers, Campbell said in a clip of Team USA. Australia's coming out on top is one thing, but it's just so much sweeter beating America. There were a couple of nights, particularly the first night of competition, where we didn't have to hear the Star Spangled Banner out through the entire stadium. I cannot tell you how happy that made me. If I never have to hear that song again, it'll be too soon. Bring on Paris. That's all I have to say. U.S., stop being sore losers. Campbell also noted that not being a fan of Team USA, ringing a cowbell and chanting USA, USA in their warm-up area. So he says, I'd make them eat every word they said about me. Michael Phelps got fired up about the USA versus Australia. We're going to show this? Is he actually going to say that? We're going to get that? Loading.
When you were swimming.
But it is just so much sweeter beating America.
Yeah.
There were a couple of nights, particularly the first night of competition, where we did not have to hear Star Spangled Banner ring out through the stadium, and I cannot tell you how happy that made me. When we're like right next to each other in the warm-up areas, the US have this like infernal cowbell that they ring, and as someone leaves to go to the competition pool, they ring out USA, USA, and I've never wanted to punch someone more.
Wow.
Have you seen that?
No, but I appreciate your comments, Kate.
This guy's ears made him a better swimmer. I'm convinced that his ears made him a better swimmer. He happened to be a freak of nature, Michael Phelps. Like literally, when I say freak of nature, this guy, apparently like his wingspan and the size of his feet literally make him like he has flippers for feet. He has such natural advantages in ways that would just frustrate the hell out of these commies on the left who are like, it's not fair. It's such natural advantages.
Somebody said that to me, I would lose it. I would literally make them eat every word they just said about me. Because people have done it. Chad Leclos, Thorpe, you guys have all talked about me, and I had the last laugh. So for the Americans, if you see what I just saw, that's the first time I saw it. I would watch that thing every single day to give me that little extra bit of just oomph. Oh, I mean, look,
That's the other reason this dude is a 28-time, has 28 Olympic medals. I'm sure more than half of them are gold. Yeah, because the fire of a competitor.
That's awesome. Well, the good news is the Olympics will be here shortly, and we'll be able to see what the results are.
There you go. Well done, Michael. So, yeah. So my thought was, what does this have to do with fixing America? Well, I'm not suggesting this as an answer for America. Just to be 100% clear, I'm not suggesting it. But historically, when countries would go to war with another country, like literally go to war, and I'm not suggesting Russia because we wouldn't want to start with that. I don't want to start with Russia. But if we were to bomb Australia, all of a sudden the nation just starts coming together with like the whole feeling of USA, USA. That's how you do it. That's all of a sudden all divisions go out the window. It's very easy to hate your neighbor. Very easy to hate your neighbor. Very easy to hate your neighbor during times of peace. But times of war, I'm loath to even suggest it because I think the last person who actually said these words out loud was speaking German. She's fight, she fight, and advocating to basically go to war with a lot of folks. So, and that's why I'm saying I'm definitely not seeing that being a good option. I'm not seeing that being a good option. Not at all. I'm just saying it probably would have that impact. Don't you? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? It would have that impact. Am I wrong? Just tell me if you think I'm wrong. She's fine. It would. I think it would work. I think that's pretty much the last thing that could basically bring America together at this point. And I'm definitely not advocating that as a suggestion. And I definitely wouldn't want it to be China or Russia. Australia seems like a really prime target. Really prime target. Just saying. Not suggesting. Someone's going to mistake what I'm saying out of context. I'm not saying that. Yes, I know that one. Sie Schwein. Yeah. I'm not sure. Is that Phelps? Is that what you're talking about? Yes, he should bring up Afghanistan in the pipeline. Good night, Mary. Good night. And thank you. Thank you for the happy birthday blessings. I appreciate that. Pistol comes off as a poor parody of a person because he has no qualms or shame in bad faith arguments and willfully feigning ignorance when challenged. Could be. Could be. Okay. Oh, how strong am I feeling? I'm trying to decide how much longer I want to go. So I have a 5-minute clip to share with you all. I have 2 clips left. There's 2 clips. I got 2 clips left in the chamber. 2 clips left in the chamber. One of them is pretty short and just funny. The other one, which is not going to take me like more than like 2 minutes to cover. The other one is much longer and is going to evoke long conversation potentially. Oh, what the heck? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's a Schwein. Let me do a quick check here. Make sure that I've been keeping pace with all you folks. Jody, you take responsibility for getting the wrong type of tracksuits and the wrong Kool-Aid. There's no Kool-Aid. And sadly, there's no tracksuits yet. Sadly. Vaughn Lawyer says Trump can at State of the Union put a bounty on drug cartels and still be presidential power protected. Several Supreme Court cases already damaged New York City cases. The Moab time? What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, there says, happy birthday, Joe. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's over in our locals chat, which is goodlogic.locals.com. I've been very poor about pimping myself this week. I know that. I've been very poor. Maybe that's why I'm at 98,948. I went up 8 people, in case you're wondering. I knew I wasn't going to get to 99,000. I was thinking about making this thing tonight where I was like, okay, if I get to 99,000 tonight, I will sing a song. Then I was like, I think that might get people to unsub. So I don't know I don't think that would help. I'm not sure that would. I'm not sure if that would help or not. And I basically was going to sing a song to like basically the highest request. That's what I was going to do. But then I was like, so I sort of referenced it. A couple of places where I was putting on notifications. It might even be in my description. I don't remember. It might even be my title. Might be my title. I don't know. I could be persuaded, I could be persuaded tonight, perhaps. But I know I'm not going to get 99,000 because YouTube will just unsub some folks. They just will. And that's okay. I'm still the luckiest man on earth. All right. We're going to do this video here. I saw this on my timeline, and I actually watched this video. And I'm sitting here, and I'm watching this thing, and I'm thinking to myself, there's a... No, I'm not going to show that. That one I'm not going to share. It's just going to be taken the wrong way. People are going to take it the wrong way. I don't have the patience to explain it. I was simply thinking to myself, thank God I wasn't born a woman when I saw this. Everything about this story is something that would never happen with a man. Nothing about this story would ever happen with a man. Now I know there's some XYs out there who act like this today. I get that. I still stand by my original statement.
I literally can't stop thinking about the time that
Can I make you louder? That's about as loud as I'm gonna get you.
friend of mine gave me this hand chain and she was like, happy birthday, this is for you, this is such a collector piece, look, I have one, I love it.
Can you hear? Is the audio okay? I don't think that's true. I don't think it's true. I don't believe it. Trying to figure out how to make it louder, and I'm struggling. Let me try this.
I want you to have one too.
Nope, that did nothing. Try this.
I was so impressed and actually shocked that she got it for me. And I was like, wow, I've always admired it on you. And she's like, I know you complimented me on it before, so I thought like you should have one too. I had to pause because my child was not having it yesterday, but here I am to tell the rest of the story. So she's like, yeah, I know you compliment mine all the time. You should have one too. So here you go. Now we can match. And I love it.
All right. Hold on a second. So that's one part that would never happen to men. Like, now we can match. This is weird.
I was so grateful, and I eventually ended up buying a second one. The obsession grew, and then I bought a third one. Around the time that I bought the...
So what they're talking about here, what she's talking about is something called a hand chain. Heck, let's make it bigger. A hand chain, which basically is a chain that links up to a finger or multiple fingers, and it's called a hand chain. Apparently this is all the rage now amongst certain folks. I happen to think it's actually a pretty cute piece of jewelry, the idea of having a hand chain. I think that if done with elegance, it can actually be nice. I'm not going to kid you. It would be I could see that being a nice adornment for a woman.
The third one, I was planning this shoot for this new business that I was launching. And I was telling this friend, I was like, I'm going to do my makeup for it and my hair and whatever. I'm not going to like waste any money, blah, blah, blah. Dude, she was like, no, I'll do your hair and makeup. I would be happy to do your hair and makeup. And I was like, oh, okay. And she and her sister decided to do their hair and makeup for me for the shoot.
So this, just to catch you up, in case you couldn't hear because of volume issues. So she has this friend who bought her a hand chain for her birthday. And because she had been admiring her friend's hand chain, so this friend buys her for her birthday a hand chain. And, you know, now they could be twinsies or whatever it is, whatever, with their hand chains. So apparently she buys a couple more. Now she's doing some shoot because she does some sort of modeling or something like that, this woman. And for her hair and makeup, her friend and her friend's sister are there doing her hair and makeup after she bought these additional hand chains. You with it so far? Okay. So now they're there doing it, and, well, we'll let her continue.
Around like 30 minutes into the shoot, I felt like the vibe had changed and they were being really weird.
This is another woman thing, because men would not notice a vibe change. We don't notice vibe changes, okay? I don't know how to explain this to you other than no, there's no vibe change. Don't tell me there's a vibe change. I don't want to hear about your vibe changes. Apparently, to women, this is obvious. This is a sentence which makes obvious sense.
They were whispering a lot and like talking a lot, but they were kind of working together to do my makeup. So I thought that maybe they were just talking about like the work they were doing with the makeup and like maybe they wanted to fix certain things and whatever, because at a shoot things can get a little hectic. So we wrapped the shoot. It was New Year's Eve. Then we go home. Everybody goes home and they both text me and they're like, Happy New Year's, like wishing you abundance, amazing year, blah, blah, blah.
Wishing you abundance is another woman thing. I've never heard anyone ever. No one has ever wished me abundance. It's my freaking birthday. None of you wished me abundance. Where's my abundance wishes? I want abundance wishes. There should be like, that's what I should have got. I don't even want happy birthday. I just want more abundance for you, Joe. Wishes. That's what I want. I want abundance. Abundance sounds great. Abundance sounds amazing. Abundance of members is great also. Happy abundance. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you. See, there we go. I wish abundant. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy birthday, Joe. The squirrels and I hope you have a wonderful year ahead of you and love happy surprises. I'm going to read this as abundance because I know you were writing this one before and sending it. You probably hit send right when I said that abundance thing. So I'm going to read it that way. Yeah, and I guess now there's a vibe change. Thank you. Thank you. Abundance. Let's see what you did there.
I text them back, I say the same thing, and then I don't hear from either of them for like 4 days. And I've like texted them and they're not answering me. So then I get a message from the one and she's like, have you noticed that I haven't been answering you?
So that's another woman thing to do. I'm not talking to you. Have you noticed I'm not talking to you? This can only happen with women. Did you notice I'm not talking to you? Because it's important to me that you acknowledge that you noticed that I am ignoring you. So I'm ignoring you. Did you know I'm ignoring you, right? I mean, you know that. It's passive aggressive. See, $5 worth of, there you go. Thank you, V. Thank you. This guy got to talk to Brett Weinstein. I don't know who he knows. I wish abundance upon you as well. More Brett Weinsteins and other similarly, well known and well regarded individuals should be stopping by your channel. You guys check out that video. Thank you, Ellie. I appreciate that.
And I'm like, yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so let's go back. So
don't hear from them.
So
abundance, amazing.
They're going through this whole passive aggressive game where they're wishing abundance but not really meaning it, because I apparently in this story, wishing abundance is a way to saying is code for drop dead. I'm ignoring you. But yeah.
Year, blah, blah, blah. I text them back, I say the same thing, and then I don't hear from either of them for like 4 days. And I've like texted them and they're not answering me. So then I get a message from the one and she's like, have you noticed that I haven't been answering you? And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? And she's like, I think we should talk on the phone. So we got on the phone and basically she tells me that she notices that I have 3 hand chains and that she was really offended that I had bought a third one without asking her permission. I was so shocked.
This I can't believe you bought jewelry, hand chain specifically without asking me permission. What are you thinking when you're going out there and getting that third hand chain? Like, what was going through your I can't even imagine what was going through your mind when you went out there and bought that third hand chain. I mean, I got you the first one, you got the second one, now you're getting the third one. You didn't even talk to me. We didn't consult. You didn't say, is this cool with you if I get a third hand chain? Yeah, this possessiveness over your friends' activities and decisions, this is another thing that would never happen with men. I feel as if I'm peeking in on a foreign species here. A foreign species where they wish abundance, which is basically like saying, I hope that you get bitten and infected with rabies, and then when they try and cure you, they accidentally give you Ebola, and then you basically vomit that on all of your family members and especially your dog. Apparently, in this world that I'm peeking in on, it's a whole different vibe. I'm noticing a vibe change here from like what I'm used to experiencing.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that bothered you. And I didn't even think to ask your permission because I don't think I need to ask your permission, but sorry if that bothered you. And she was like, thank you for receiving that so well. So I'd appreciate it if you don't wear it anymore.
Thank you for receiving that so well. Listen to the way they're communicating with each other. it's like we're having some sort of psych session here. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to express myself and emote in a certain type of way, and your role is to receive and respond in appropriate. It's like, can't you just freaking have a normal conversation? Thank you for receiving that so well. This is just hilarious to me.
I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that bothered you. And I didn't even think to ask your permission because I don't think I need to ask your permission, but sorry if that bothered you. And she was like, thank you for receiving that so well. So I'd appreciate it if you don't wear it anymore. And I was like, I guess I can just like not wear it around you, but whatever. And we kind of ended the phone call there, but like I felt really weird, and clearly so did she, but it was like a very shocking conversation. So not everything that needed to be said was said.
Not everything that needed to be said was said. So you see, she has the same kind of mindset that you're sort of having, like your internal brain here is this whole calculating thing. And it's like not everything, it's like we're doing this whole dissection at the same time. I'm trying to express myself and I'm doing this whole psychological dissection, but I'm not sufficiently fluent in this that I can just actually have this conversation in my own brain. I'm actually expressing it with things like, thank you for receiving it so well. I guess she kept this part in her own brain. Not everything that needed to be said was said. Everything about this. There are no two men, okay, who weren't like basically romantically involved with each other who ever had a conversation like this.
Fast forward to like a week later, I call her and I'm like, hey, that like didn't land very well with me actually. And I think it's kind of fucking weird that you're asking me to like not wear it around you. She's like, no, I'm not asking you to not wear it around me. I'm asking you to get rid of it because I don't want you to own 3. I have 3 and I don't like that you copied me and now you own 3.
That's what the issue is. I guess that's the part that needed to be said. Because what she took from it, and by the way, even when she was telling this story over, I was like, no, this woman doesn't want you ever wearing it, not wearing it around her. She's like, no, I don't want you ever wearing this. That was crystal clear to me just on her telling of the story that's where the friend was at. That she's like, no, I want you to burn that piece of crap now. But I guess that wasn't said. So she's sort of sitting here, not everything being said that needed to be said. So she's like, okay, I'm going to try and accommodate you by not wearing it around you. I guess I could try to accommodate you. I'm thinking maybe I'll accommodate you. I'm not sure if I'm going to accommodate you. And I want to see how you receive that from me. And based on your response, I'm going to react appropriately and maybe go to TikTok and complain about you. And her friend was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. You're not ever wearing that. I don't like that you're copying me. I'm the 3 hand chain girl. Don't you know? That's my deal. That's how everyone knows me. Everyone calls me 3 hand chain Janice. That's what everyone calls me. That's basically, you're trying to steal my identity here. Everyone knows me. If you're wearing 3 hand chains, everyone's going to be all confused because there's 3 hand chain Janice and then 3 hand chain Amanda. And what the hell is happening here? That can't be. You got to cut down to 2. You got to be 2 hand chain Amanda, not 3 hand chain Amanda. Otherwise, my entire identity is going to be absorbed. I'm not even going to like really exist anymore.
I was literally shocked. I was like,
I was literally shocked.
Taken aback, like.
When she says literally shocked, I'm assuming that what she's trying to convey here, what I'm receiving from that is that she accidentally stuck her toe into a socket, and like when like that's what I'm assuming when she's saying that she was literally shocked, that she was literally. That's what I'm assuming, but I recognize my interpretation could be off. I'm not swearing that that's the proper way of reading this story.
I was literally shocked. I was like taken aback. Like literally, what the fuck? I'm like, this is getting so weird. Like, this is so odd. Like, we need to have like a full-on conversation about this. So we plan a day to get on the phone and have a conversation about it.
Okay, Okay, we're gonna have to have the 3 hand chain meeting. Okay, so when are we gonna have this sit down here? Well, we'll go to like some Italian restaurant. No one's gonna come, armed with their credit card or their lipstick, and we're gonna have a sit down here. On the table over us is gonna be the Nicoletti family and the Gaudis, and we're gonna be sitting here having our sit down so we can sort this whole hand chain mess out without this without this becoming any more serious than it obviously already is.
And basically, the day comes to have the conversation, and she's like, I'm not feeling it. I'm emotionally drained. I can't get on the phone with you right now. I'm like, okay, no problem. When do you want to do it? She's like, tomorrow. We get on the phone to have this conversation about this fucking hand chain.
Now, just understand the level of detail. We're supposed to have this sit down. She's giving us such detail that she's like, we scheduled for this day, but then it had to get pushed back to another day. Like, you can just tell us, like, we eventually, all right.
And she is like, okay, so let's start. And I hear her open a notebook. She starts going off, reading line by line by line over our 5-year friendship, all the times that I pissed her off. I hear pages literally turning, and she's getting louder and louder and louder. And I keep trying to, like,
we will now do the airing of grievances. Oh my God. This story is a Festivus miracle. We will now do, and trust me, I got a book of problems with you, Amanda. I got a book. Her name is actually Amanda Talajan, like Talajan, like she's part of the Talajan. Amanda Talajan has a friend or former friend who had a book of grievances going back 5 years, and she's going page by page. Like, you have to understand what's hilarious about this is that this woman, obviously, every time something bothered her, she went back to her journal, her I Hate Amanda journal, and said, today, Amanda did not notice that I had a new shade of lip gloss. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank God I wasn't born a woman.
line by line by line over our 5-year friendship, all the times that I pissed her off. I hear pages literally turning, and she's getting louder and louder and louder. And I keep trying to, like, speak, and she's like, don't interrupt me. She basically told me that I copy and paste. She was like, copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. That's all you do. You copy.
It's such a cool thing to, like, she actually came up with a nickname for what she's doing, that she's copying her and pasting.
And paste my life. You want to be me. This is crazy. And I was like, this is so bizarre. Like, I have 2 sisters. We copy each other all the time. I don't see it as copying. I see it as more like being inspired by someone, I guess.
Oh, it's totally copying. It is totally copying. It is totally copying. When she says it like that, it means her friend has pretty much nailed it. That she is copying her, that she's like, oh wait, this friend is much cooler than me, so I'm gonna basically figure out how to be cool by doing whatever she does. So yeah, she is totally copying her for sure. And she pretty much, when she has to come up with semantics of, I'm inspired by her. No, you are copying. Now, is that a bad thing? I guess for women it is. They never want to be wearing the same outfit, God forbid. That's humiliating. So perhaps that is, an understood thing that you don't copy each other. But yeah, this woman here is telling the story over. She don't realize how she's telling on herself. She's telling herself hard. I missed a couple of chats here. Let me catch up on that. Holy crap, happy birthday, Joe. Many abundances. Great show. Taylor ham sandwich on me. Thank you. Minus Biden inflation. Well, I guess I'll cut the ham out then. Happy popping out of your mouth. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tomorrow I am going to have a birthday stream and have folks on. My birthday's only an hour old right now. You're peeking in on a unique species because actual women don't do this. Probably true. That's probably true. I think certain kinds of women do this. This is like a city woman. This is a city girl. Is this a pro repeal the 19th video? We live in a society, Janice, a society with rules. We live in a society, Janice. She should have went from handchain to chainmail. That would have been awesome. She wouldn't have this issue if she was straight. Oh, she is straight, by the way. I think she's married. She has a future as a jouster at a Renfest. I swear that I've had supervisors like this. Yeah, well.
Didn't think anything of it, that you like started my fine jewelry collection with this hand chain, and I just like started buying more. Also, I've always loved jewelry. Like, that's just kind of, it was just like, I don't even know how to explain it. It felt so odd to even explain. Basically,
because she's copied. That's why. And Janice don't like being copied. Janice don't like that. No, not one bit. Janice don't like that. Dana says, does this cult have the sister wife thing? Asking for a friend. Ew. Ew. No, ew. God. Ew. And it's not at all a cult. Let's have a cult. Ew. Well, maybe I'm going to throw that in there. Just make 100% clear. No sister wives. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. Hand chain and fine jewelry don't go together. I think hand chains are like $5. I know. I think they're like $5, but I guess they can probably be many hundreds or thousands.
like the conversation kept going on, and she was screaming at me and just telling me how fake I was and how I'm just this awful person who's trying to steal her life, and she doesn't like when her friends have anything that she has, which is ironic because she had bought it for me in the first place, and that I needed to apologize and get rid of it, and I couldn't even have it in my home and all this kind of shit. And I was like, you know what, I can't do any of that. And she's like, I thought you were going to say that, so I want you to know this friendship is officially over. I will be unfollowing.
The official divorce, complete with social media cutoffs. I'll be unfollowing you. You're unfollowed. We're not friends. We're not anything. I'm not following you on TikTok. I'm not following you on Facebook or Meta. I'm not following you on X. I'm not... And I'm blocking your phone number from my phone. This is it. It's over. These are things no man has ever said. I knew you guys would appreciate this story.
Can't do any of that. And she's like, I thought you were going to say that, so I want you to know this friendship is officially over. I will be unfollowing.
The friendship is officially over. It's official. It's not unofficially over. It's officially over. You might have thought, look, is it really over? Or is it just unofficially over? Because I just need to know. No, it's officially over.
Following you on every social media. We are not connected anymore, and I'll miss you as my friend. And I hung up because I was like, this shit is like bonkers beyond.
I hung up crying. That's what she means to say. I hung up crying. That's what she meant to say.
Bonkers. Like, I feel like I'm in some weird fucking alternate universe and I don't even know what's happening. And basically, like, we didn't talk for a year. And then a year later, I received an email from her telling me, like, how she's changed and grown and, like, all this kind of stuff. And by that...
these are phrases. These are buzzword phrases that they love to use also. I've changed. I've evolved. I've grown. I'm a better person now.
That time I had already had my baby, and I was like, get the fuck. I can't even re-enter this fucking shit, because she also said we both needed to take responsibility for the things that we had done in that same email. And I was like, no, you're...
We both, because look, I got a lot of grievances. You never really answered for any of them because everything officially was over way too fast for you to actually apologize to me. So I'm calling up so you'll apologize to me so that we can be friends. I figure you've had a year away from me, so now it's time for you to apologize that we can be friends again. That's what the friend was doing. God.
We had done in that same email, and I was like, no, you're not going to tell me what I need to take responsibility for. So that is a clue to me that I'm going to walk away. But yeah,
that's
every
the
time
clue.
I look at it,
that's the clue. That's the clue. Not the book of grievances that she was storing for 5 years, that she's writing in a journal every time she thinks you screwed up and saving it for a day where she could rain it down upon you. That was the clue. That was the clue. Really? See, this is why you end up with more friends like that. This is why, because you're not learning your lesson. So don't be like Amanda. Learn your lesson. When you see someone who's kind of crazy, don't wait for them to show you signs that they're still crazy. Just run away. Run away. Run, Forrest, run! Like they're bullies who are throwing stones at you. So I don't care if you're stuck in your little leg clamps and you got to sort of tin man it down there, as your legs are squeaking away while you're trying to get away from these would-be friends. They're not friends. Run away, like until they snap off and you can run like the wind. That's what you need to do. Run away from these people. Run away. Run.
I'm going to walk away. But yeah, every time I look at it, I remember that. Now you know too. Bye.
Wow. And only a woman would share all that. Oh, or a podcaster. I would probably tell a story like that. But this story would be nothing like that. But yeah, I would give him that kind of detail because, well, it's kind of what I do for a living. I can tell stories over like that. So, run, Forrest! You know what makes me sad? You want to know what makes me sad? I'm going to share with you what makes me sad. 10 years from now, when I'm using these references, because I'm not going to update them. I'm telling you now, I'm not updating them. I'm not going to start looking into the 2010s. Ain't updating them. But like my audience is going to be like, what? What's run far? What is that? Who? Yeah, well, it is what it is. Wednesday, June 15, 2022, the basic Ho Amanda ordered the same thing at me. She's so basic. She ordered that basic Ho Amanda ordered a chocolate amaretto latte right after I did. Looking into anklets, making sure she doesn't see my search history. It's great. It's great. If you have more of those that you can share with me, I think that every once in a while you need to sort of be appreciative of who you are and where you're coming from, and videos like that just make me appreciative of the fact that I'm not only not like that I don't have people like that anywhere around me in my life. The women in my life are nothing like that. Nothing like that. The pride, the insecurity, the anger, the resentment, they're nothing like that at all in my family. And I don't just mean my immediate family. I mean my sisters-in-law, my sister, nothing like this woman. Nothing. But yeah, stories like that are, if you have more you want to share with me, you can drop me a link. Locals, goodlogic.locals.com. That's a great place. It's a great place. It's kind of where the cool kids hang out. All the diggers are there. All the diggers. That's right. Diggers. Look at that guy digging. Look at him digging away there. Just digging away. Dig. Diggers. My project for tomorrow is I've got to assemble a show and get together a whole bunch of cool people that I can hang out with for my birthday and maybe open a merch store. That's what I really want to do tomorrow. That's what I want for my birthday. For my birthday, I want a merch store. That's what I want. A merch store. That's my goal. That's my goal. We'll only know if that happens. The first place you'll find out about it would be on Locals, because that's where I would share it first. I'd probably give a Locals discount. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'll give a Locals discount. I like that idea a lot. A Locals merch discount. Well, that's a really good idea. That's a freaking awesome idea. Okay. That's my goal for tomorrow. That and having like an extend. I'm going to start early, hopefully tomorrow. Start early. Have a whole bunch of folks in here. Maybe crack open the Ardbeg. There you go. I'm probably going to get sushi. We'll get sushi. I'll get sushi and I'll get more alcohol and I'm going to get friends. If I have to buy them, if I have to, whatever it is, I'll get friends and we'll have like a little party over here tomorrow. Celebrate my 54th birthday. I thank you all for joining me. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. I bet the side version of that story is not. Oh, I'm sure it is. I want to see Janice's side so bad. So bad. You know, for 5 years, Amanda was always copying me. And then I tried to do something nice. I got her a hand chain. And I said, oh, you know, she always wants to be like me. I know you always want to be like me. So I have a hand chains. So I discovered how cool. I got these really pretty hand chains. I said, oh, you know what? For her birthday, I'm going to get her a hand chain because she's always looking at it. She's always looking at it. She doesn't stop looking at it. Like, she's always looking at it. So I said, I'm going to get her for her birthday because that's the kind of girl I am. I look out for my friends. I look out for them, make sure that if something's going to make them happy, I store it away and I try and buy it for them for their birthday because that's the kind of friend I am. I look out for them. And even though she's done all these terrible things to me, I can't even tell you. I mean, I've written down here somewhere some of the terrible stuff that she's done. So I said, I'm going to get her a hand chain for her birthday. Okay, fine. So now, because everyone knows that I know where the best hand chains are. Okay, it's my thing, and that's one of the things. So, and in fact, I wear 3 of them. Everyone knows I wear 3 of them. So after I got her this hand chain, then she gets another one. And I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty, you know, because most people don't wear more than one hand chain. They just wear one. I wear 3. I have 2 on this hand and 2 on my left hand and 1 on my right hand. So I wear 3. She's got 1 on each hand, and that kind of like, I was like, oh, okay, you know, but then, so now she's getting made up, and she asked me because you know she asked my sister, and she asked Linda and I to take care of her hair and makeup because when I do her hair looks popping. Her hair looks popping when I'm doing her hair. So I'm over there, and I said, "Of course I'll do it for you for free. I'm not gonna charge her. I mean, everyone else I would charge. She's a friend." Amanda's a friend. I'm not going to charge a friend. So now, Linda and I are doing makeup. The next thing I know, like Linda nudges me and she looks down she looked down at Amanda's left hand. She's got a 3rd hand chain. I was gonna lose it. I mean, really? A 3rd hand chain? She didn't ask me. She didn't talk to me about it. The next thing I know, it's like she's copying me. She's just doing exactly what I'm doing. It's like I do something, and she's like, oh, I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. I'm going to copy and paste. I'm going to do whatever it is. So I get a skirt, she has to get the same skirt. If I get boots, she has to get the same boots. I get 3 hand bracelets, now she has 3 hand bracelets. And it's like, and I was just like, ugh. But I know she's going to do a shoot, so I didn't want to say anything to her. You know, it was New Year's Eve, so I didn't want to say anything to her. So I came along, and and Linda's like muttering to me, and she's like, don't say anything. And I'm like, she's like, no, don't. She's like shaking her head at me. She's behind Amanda, and she's like, no. But she's got to be like subtle about it because there's a mirror that Amanda can see. So I'm sort of blocking the mirror so that Amanda can't see herself or Linda behind her. And Linda's like, no. And I was like, but. And meanwhile, I'm trying to make conversation there because obviously I'm sitting there, we're all hanging out there. So I'm fixing up her makeup. Amanda's doing the hair, and everything is going. So we finished that up, and you know, and she's And I sent her a New Year's text, and that was it. And she's like, and that was basically it. Now, obviously, I couldn't talk to her. I mean, I was so outraged. I mean, can you believe it? The nerve. I got her into hand chains in the first place. I'm the one who got her the first hand chain. You don't even ask me. You don't even ask if it's okay with me if you get 3 hand chains like I have. You don't even ask. You just come in here and wear it in my face. In my face. She's wearing it in my face. I can't believe she's wearing these hand chains. I can't even believe it. It's crazy. So I'm like, I can't even talk to her. And she's sending me some stupid text or something like that, and I'm not answering it like that. But like, I was like, so I wait one day. I wait 2 days. I'm like, obviously she's going to apologize and she's going to explain what she was thinking when she got 3 hand chains. What were you seriously, Amanda? Seriously, Amanda, what were you thinking, Amanda? What were you thinking? 3 days go by. Nothing. I mean, she sent me these stupid texts about nothing, but nothing about the hand chain. Nothing about that at all. Nothing at all about the hand chain. So I said, okay, fine. Let me be the one to bring up the topic, because clearly she's just like, I don't know, like crazy land. She doesn't even realize, or I don't know what she's thinking. It's like, do you even notice that I haven't been responding to your texts? Are you that clueless? Are you that self-involved that you don't even notice? Typical Amanda, like so clueless, self-involved. Do you not even notice that you don't even, like, how disgusting it was that you just went out and got these hand chains? So fine, okay. I went and I texted her. I said, did you even notice that I'm not responding? So I was like, yeah, I thought that was weird. That's what she's like. Oh, did you think it was weird? Really, Amanda? Really? You thought that was weird? You didn't think it was weird that you got 3 hand chains the same way I had? You didn't think that was weird, did you? So I had to actually spell it out for her, because she's so clueless about fashion or about just common sense that she couldn't even realize how wrong she was. So I had a conversation with her, and I was like, look, I made it so clear. I said, look, why couldn't you just ask me? Because I'm the one who introduced you to hand chains. Why didn't you just ask me? Just ask me if it was okay with me, or whether I might feel like that's, stepping on my turf here. Because, it's something that I'm doing, and you're just copying me. And it feels like you're copying me a lot. Like you're just copying me a lot. So she's like, oh, I didn't really see it as being any kind of big deal. No big deal. That's what she says. She says, no big deal. That's what she says to me. Okay, if you can believe it. No, literally. I'm literally going to lose my mind. I'm literally going to lose it because no big deal. Am I really hearing this? Is this what I'm hearing? No big deal. I'm literally dying. What is wrong with I was like, I'm so sick of this. I was like, I can't even talk to you. I just can't. I'm literally dead. So that's the end of that. And I'm like, okay, so we have so maybe she just needs some time. Maybe she needs some time to figure out, and understand just how wrong she is. Just how wrong. Because that was pretty much the sickest thing. That was the most disgusting thing anyone ever did to me in my life. So I call her. No, wait. She called me, and then she called me, and then but I was busy because I was shopping online, and there was a sale Lord and Taylor, and the sale was ending, and I had to enter that in. So she tried calling me, and I wasn't really in the mood for it. And then she said, look, and then finally I called her. because I reached out to her because I was like, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger person. I'm just going to be the bigger person here, you know. And she says, you know, and I'll just tell her, just get rid of it, just throw it out, and just apologize, and that's the end of it. You know, it's not. I'm not gonna because I'm not gonna make a whole big deal about this. So she gets on the phone with me and she says, you know, I was thinking that I'm going to wear this all the time. I just won't wear it around you, Janice. Oh. Can you even? I couldn't. I was literally gonna throw my phone in the ocean. I couldn't. So she says, so I was like, no, that's not what's happening here. You need to throw out that third hand chain. You never should have gone without talking to me. It's also gross. It happens between you and me. It looks awful on her. I mean, mine, yeah. You see, because when you're getting 3 hand chains, you have to understand what the process is, because you have one on your right hand and now you have 2 on your left hand. You can't just wear a normal hand chain there. Each of the hand chains have to coordinate and actually work well together. And hers just looked like this big blob on her hand. It was like, ew. It's like I thought she was like the Terminator or something there, or maybe she had like a goiter that was growing out of the back of her hand there. It was like, ew. But it's a 3 hand. It's not about how terrible it looks on her. It's the fact that it's the 3 hand chains. That's what it is. That's what it is. So I was like, no, you're going to throw it out and you're going to apologize to me because this is just wrong. I'm the one who introduced you. You didn't even know what a hand chain was until me. I'm the one who told you about that. Now you're getting 3 just like me. So anyway, and I even said to her, look, I understand where you're coming from. And because the truth is, I forgot actually when I said it over to her, I told her I acknowledge the responsibility that you're displaying in that you are recognizing that you really did an injustice to my feelings and my consideration when you got this, and that you are trying to validate my feelings by not wearing it around me. However, I do not feel that is sufficient recognition of the harm that you caused me by getting a 3rd hand chain, and how it is that you didn't even ask me. I mean, you didn't even ask. You just went out and did it, and I'm just supposed to be okay with it. Well, anyway, she starts going, no, I'm not getting rid of it. And I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Can you even? I was like, all right, I So a couple days go by. And then, so we said, we're going to have a final conversation about this. And between you and me, I knew it was over. I was like, that's it. I can't. I knew it was over. So we were supposed to talk about it on Friday, but I told her I can't even talk to you because it bothered me. It bothered me how this is building up inside of me, and I've been so good. So good about holding this in. I've been so good about holding this in. And then, but like, I wanted to make sure that I could organize my thoughts in a comprehensive way that she would be able to understand them and recognize that she was completely insensitive on even basic levels to my feelings. And that maybe if she would process that and and be able to put together some sort of way of remediating the irreparable harm that she did to our relationship. So I said, I even talked to Linda about it. I was like, should I tell her about, because she's so clueless. She doesn't even realize all the times that she did like all these different things. So the next day we're on the phone and I say to her, okay, you need to, what I realized, this whole handchain thing just made me realize how everything about you is so completely fake. I mean, you're so fake. Everything about you is not real. It's not you. It's copy and paste. It's just, oh, what's Janice doing? Oh, what's Janice doing? Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. And I gotta tell you something. I've seen this. I've seen you do this over and over again. Hold on a second. I'm gonna point out to you. Okay. November 14th, 2019, when I got a pair of boots and you didn't, and you remember I got those brown hipster boots and everyone was like, oh my gosh, those look fabulous on you, Janice. Sure enough, 3 weeks later, who has the same boots? Amanda. Oh, okay. August 2020. You remember how they had those sales that were coming on as stores were reopening? Right. So what did I so as soon as I got those Prada shoes with the the one with the strap? That's right. Oh, who's getting it 3 days later? Oh, Amanda. Copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Everything is copy and paste. You're so fake. You're so and then she's interrupting me. I'm explaining to her what the problem is so that we can resolve this conflict in our relationship. And she's not even listening to me. She's not even listening. She's too busy interrupting me to try and actually allow this to sink in so that she can change her behavior. And this is like, I'm like, she's never going to change. She is never going to change. So she's trying to interrupt me. And I'm like, no, stop interrupting me. Don't interrupt me. And because I need to finish. You need to recognize I have to get this off my chest. So I started going through, because there's like 10 other times. And I knew, because I had it written down. It's not like I'm not making this up. You think I'm not making this up. She's copy and paste. That's what she is. Everyone knows. They call her copy and paste Amanda. Everyone knows this. So yeah. And I was like, that's it. So I said to her, that's it. Our friendship is officially over. I'm not following you on Facebook. I'm not following you on Twitter. I'm not following you on Twitch. I'm not following you on TikTok. We're done. We're dunskies. That's what I told her. And then like a year later, she called me up and she's like, can we be friends? Come on. Can we be friends? And I said, look, if you're going to recognize how I'm mature. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because I liked her. She's one of my best friends. So I said, okay, look, I'm willing to, I figured I'll try and pretend I did something wrong here. So I was like, okay, look, we both need to recognize that we did some wrong here and just move on. And obviously get rid of the hand chain. And she just started freaking out. I was like, forget it. I'm done. I'm out. And that's it. That's the story. That was Janice's side. Here you go. Should have went with the Flavor Flav clock change. Oh my God, Joe, where do you find these poor examples of humans? Your commentary has me busting. People our age don't behave like that weak souls today. At least she made you laugh in abundance for your birthday. She did. She really did. How long was I telling that story? Like, it was like 20 minutes. I think I spent longer telling that story than Amanda did. Will it be 7-Eleven sushi? Maybe. It could be. No, not 7-Eleven sushi. I thought you meant slushy. No, it's going to be Chinese. It'll be made by an Asian. Tracksuit come with a hand chain. It should. Gold hand chain would match white tracksuit with blue fringe. I should have like the little strings hanging out also. That'd be awesome. Gave her one to feel superior to her from the jump. Oh yeah. Yes. That's right. Drop. There you go. Their hand chains made them Facebook official. Now we're besties. We're twinsies. Leader, we were able to save 4 cases of Kool-Aid stained white tracksuits by tie-dyeing them, so Appeal is back on track for leadership meeting. P.S. Happy Abundance Day. Thank you. Many abundances to you as well. Could be worse, could be synced. Nah, I bet it's like, I got myself the first hand chain to remember a miscarriage, and she asked me to get her one because she liked how... No, my version was much closer. I know, right? Hand chain tail too. This B word, Amanda. That's true. There probably was a lot of B word in it when it's not the TikTok version. There's probably a lot of B word. But it's a family show. I was pretty proud of my render. I thought my breakdown there was pretty spot on. All right, I think that's our show. We're landing our plane. Oh, wait. One last thing. Just because it made me smile. One last thing. It's literally 50 seconds.
Equal treatment for women.
You know this is going to be good. Yes, I was on TikTok today, okay? I was on TikTok. Deal with it. This was great.
Equal treatment for women.
Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime.
What?
Well, men generally get harsher prison sentences than women. That's not fair.
Okay. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime.
And when playing sports and fighting. Well, men and women shouldn't play sports together because men are physically stronger than women. It's not fair.
That makes sense.
It's not fair. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Equal treatment for women, except we're getting charged with a crime when playing sports and fighting.
And paying for dinners and buying drinks and getting drafted into the military and doing dirty jobs. Okay, guys, I got a better idea. Let me just 1 second.
Treat us like women. Treat us like women. Treat us like women.
Look how they're jumping like girls. That was a nice little touch. Treat us. Yeah. As soon as you start breaking it down, they don't like being women no more. They don't like being men no more. Can't believe I abundance $16 on a hand. Well, I appreciate it. India is Asia, Joe, so 7-Eleven sushi is Asian. That's not what I meant. It's going to be a real Asian. And besides, what does India do with anything? I don't even see what that means. All right. Well, that's my show for tonight. I hope you all have a phenomenal day tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to start early. I'm going to have a birthday stream. I'm not sure what time I'm going to start. Maybe 8, maybe 9. It's probably going to be early. Almost definitely early. No later than 10. So that's going to be tomorrow. So I have a whole bunch of people queued up in my brain as to who I'll reach out to and say, hey, you want to stop by for my birthday stream sometime tomorrow night at some point? That would be cool. And we'll see who pops in. Till then, make sure that you have a day filled with abundance. And that means that you never eat the bugs. Have a good night. I'm Goldspeed.